I want every inch of these grounds policed. Every inch, is that clear?
Yes, sir!
Keep those heads down and pick up everything that doesn't grow. Move it, move it!
Shazam! Look what I found.
What you got,
Look
Joe?
this.
What is it? What is it? What'd you find?
4-leaf clover.
Well, aren't you lucky?
Ain't I, though? I wonder what kind of luck it'll bring me.
I wonder. All right, you people, get back to work. Move it, move it!
Back home, Barbara Sue Hooverback found one under her front porch, and 2 weeks later she married Wendell Conroy, and to this day she still wears that clover in a locket around her neck on a chain.
Pyle.
She's so proud of it. She wears these real low-cut dresses so everybody can see it.
Pyle.
Of course, she can't see the clover unless she opens up her locket. She'll open up that locket at the drop of a hat.
Pyle, knock it off!
Yes.
All right, you people, fall in. All right, come on, move it, move it, move it, move it. The smoking lamp is lit for one cigarette.
The smoking lamp is lit for one cigarette! Aye, aye, sir!
Light up.
Sir,
What do you want?
I don't smoke, so it'd be all right if I kept looking for some 4-leaf clovers.
Get.
Thank you, sir. I might even find one for you.
Wonderful.
Of course, you don't have a locket you can keep it in like Barbara Sue Hooverback, but there's other places you can keep it, like in the sweatband of your hat or in your...
Pyle,
Sir?
get lost.
Yes, sir.
Hey, cut! Afternoon, Captain.
Good afternoon, Sergeant. Could I talk to you for a moment?
Something wrong, Captain?
Not unless you call making a Marine base look like a street corner.
I authorized a break for these people, Captain.
A break does not mean ogling women Marines. Sergeant, inform your men that this is an administration building and not the corner drugstore.
Aye, Captain.
Carry on.
What's the matter with you knuckleheads? Don't you know a captain when you see one?
Sorry, sir, we didn't see her.
You didn't see her? You didn't see a captain? All right, you just stand at attention, and you'll watch for captains.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Private,
Yes, ma'am.
what was that you just did?
Ma'am?
Just now when I approached, what did you do?
I guess I tipped my hat. That's right, I tipped my hat, Swat, ma'am.
You did you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do these bars show you that I'm a captain?
Yes, ma'am. But the rest of the uniform shows me that you're a lady. And I always tip my hat to a lady.
One of your people, Sergeant?
Yes, he is, Captain.
It is customary for recruits to learn to salute their very first day in the service.
Yes, ma'am. Didn't he salute the captain?
He did not. He tipped his hat.
Tipped his hat.
On account of she's a lady, and I always tip my hat to a lady.
Private, do you know your general orders?
Yes, ma'am, I sure do.
What is your 10th general order?
Let's see now. To take charge of this post and all government property.
That is your first one.
Yes, ma'am, I know it is. But I learned them in order, and so I have to go all the way through them to get the 10th. To walk my post in a military manner.
Did this man learn military courtesy, or did he not?
He certainly did, Captain. I can't...
Then why is he not showing it?
Well, I just don't...
That is a poor reflection of his training, Sergeant, if I may say.
I've got
Well,
it.
he's-
Here it is. To salute all officers and all colors and standards not cased. That's your 10th general order right there.
That is correct. And the way you do that is you raise your right hand directly and smartly. Thumb and fingers are straight and touching each other. Your upper arm is level with the deck and your forearm at a 45-degree angle. You hold that salute until it is returned, then cut away your hand smartly back to your side. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. But wouldn't it be a whole lot easier if I just tipped my hat and said, good afternoon, ma'am?
Hey, excuse me, if the captain will let me take over now...
No, Sergeant. I have a much better plan. You have this private report to me every evening this week in my office after duty hours. I think I can teach him the business of saluting so that he never forgets it. That's an order. Carry on.
Just think, Sergeant. She's gonna take a whole week just to teach me proper saluting. Ain't that nice of her?
Gomer, why are you wasting your time sprucing up? You'll be torn to shreds as soon as you get to her office.
Oh, quit joshing, Duke. She's a real nice lady, that lady captain.
Gomer, that's no lady. Do you know what they call her? Captain Iron Pants. Yeah, Captain Iron Pants.
Duke, you ought not call her that. It ain't respectful.
Well, that's what they call her all over.
Hey, Sergeant, sir. Getting ready to go to my saluting lesson.
Well, you fixed it up for yourself real good, boy. Pulling down night school duty. Now, you listen up and listen good. That woman is a captain. You say yes, Captain Martin, no, Captain Martin. Understand?
Yes, sir. Captain Martin. I don't care what nobody else calls her.
Huh?
Do you know what they call her on this base? And ain't respectful neither.
Corporal Peters,
Yes, Captain?
do you type with a compact?
No, ma'am. But I'm meeting Sergeant Marshall after work, and it's just a few minutes before 17:30.
Those few minutes belong to this office. So if you wish to indulge in camouflage operations, don't do it here. Let me tell you something, Corporal. Those little feminine vanities do nothing to further a career in the service. In fact, I've found them a hindrance. Oh, excuse me, sir.
That's all right. You have those requisitions, Captain?
Yes, sir, right here.
I saw that business with Corporal Peters. Don't you think you're being a little rough on her?
No, sir, I don't. After all, we haven't secured for the night yet. And we are Marines working on a Marine base.
Well, you are also women. I don't think it's so bad if Corporal Peters puts on a little makeup. She's just trying to win a different battle than you are.
Have a nice evening.
Oh, thank you.
Good evening, ma'am. Private Gomer Pyle. You requested that I come here for some extra duty, so here I am.
Oh, yes, the hat tipper. Over here, Private. These cards list all the officers on the base. I want you to file them alphabetically in the lower drawer.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that you'll get in practice, whenever you come to a card with a woman officer on it, I want you to stand up and salute.
You mean salute the card?
That's right. Oh, is that funny, Private? Does that strike you as funny?
No, ma'am.
All right, sit down and get to work.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I was always taught not to sit while a lady's standing. My mama taught me that.
I am a captain in the United States Marine Corps, and that is all I am to you.
Well, that's a lot, ma'am. That's a whole lot.
You bet it is. Now get busy. When you finish with that, I have other duties for you. Sit down.
Yes, ma'am. Lieutenant James Parker. Captain Larry Brown. Oh, here's one. Captain Martha Bentley. Is that what you mean, ma'am?
What do you think you're doing?
Well, I'm holding a chair out for you, ma'am. That's another thing my mama taught me.
Private, listen. There are a lot of things you've learned in civilian life that do not always apply here. Now, common courtesies are fine, but chair pushing and hat tipping and other civilian niceties are unnecessary. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you trying to help me, Captain. But I hope you won't be too upset if it don't take right away. After all, my mama had over 20 years to drum all that into me.
Then we may just be here that long. Private, you're late.
I'm sure sorry about that. I was almost here when I remembered the sweets, and I had to run all the way back to the barracks to get them.
Sweets? Recruits aren't allowed candy. Where did you get it?
Oh, it ain't for me. It's for you, Captain. It's just an old chocolate bar. My cousin Gomer sent it to me in the mail. He didn't know we ain't supposed to have them. Thought you might like it.
Private Pyle, are you trying to bribe me with a candy bar?
Gosh, no, ma'am. It's just a tiny present's all. Ladies should get presents. Please take it.
Private, I've got a lot of work to do, and so do you. Suppose we get started.
Yes, ma'am. Captain, if you want to holler at me for being late, you just do that. Otherwise, the candy might really look like a bribe.
What?
What I'm trying to say is, it ain't really a bribe, and if you'll go ahead and holler, then I'll know you think of it as a present.
Never mind.
Just go ahead and holler, and that'll prove you don't think of it as a bribe.
That won't be necessary.
But, Captain, if you just...
Pyle, get busy cleaning this office now. Move it, move it, move it. Go on, move it.
Yes, ma'am.
Private, what are you doing?
Sharpening these pencils like you asked, ma'am.
This may be a silly question, but why don't you use the pencil sharpener? What do you think that is? Now resharpen those, and on the double.
Ma'am?
What is it?
This here thing's a pencil sharpener. It ain't got no handle.
It's electric. You put the pencils in and they sharpen themselves.
You're pulling my leg, ma'am.
There.
Lord, what'll they think of next? Electric. Ain't that something?
Pyle, stop playing with that pencil sharpener.
Yes, ma'am. There you are, ma'am. There's the first one. That sure was fun. Too short?
Not for a golf tee, but it is too short for me.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I can see that now. A lady shouldn't use a stubby pencil. You might break your fingernails and ruin all that nice banana-smelling polish.
I don't have long fingernails, and I don't wear that nice banana-smelling polish.
That's right. You sure enough don't, ma'am. Could have swore you did. Maybe you ought to.
What?
Well, ma'am, you have such nice hands. Long fingernails and that red goo could make them even look that much nicer. Well, I'll go sharpen you some more pencils now. Sergeant, sir. I didn't see you.
Pyle, the rest of the people are on arrest period. What are you doing?
Just a little private policing, sir.
What's the matter? Don't you have enough to do between Captain Martin and myself?
Oh, yes, sir, but this is different. You see, I'm just looking for tinfoil.
Tinfoil?
Yes, sir. It's a surprise for Captain Martin.
You gonna surprise Captain Martin with a ball of tinfoil?
Oh, no, sir. The tinfoil is just for the decoration. The real surprise is underneath that.
Carry on.
Yes, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Is that a new way to stand at attention?
No, ma'am. It's just that I know how ladies like to be surprised.
What?
I found them growing wild back yonder at the back gate. They're for you. Take them.
Oh, that's very nice, Private. But I'm afraid I don't have anything to keep them in, so I can't accept them.
How's this?
What's that?
Homemade vase. Pretty, ain't they?
Yes, they are.
This here vase It's just an old milk bottle I found back of the mess hall. I covered it in tinfoil on account I didn't think a vase ought to say low fat on it.
Thank you, Private.
You're welcome, ma'am. I think a lady should have pretty things on her desk.
All right, Private. May as well secure for the night. Check that window, will you?
Yes, ma'am. Shazam! Would you look at that moon? Boy, it'd sure be a great night for gas watching back home.
Private, finish up and you can shove off.
Yes, ma'am.
Gas watching?
Yes, ma'am. Back home, I used to work at this filling station. Whenever there'd be a shiny moon and I'd be working nights, I used to spill out a little gas on the concrete and watch the reflection that the moon made on it. All them shiny colors and runny lines.
I see.
Sometimes this girl I knew named Ida Carrington, she'd come over and sit with me, and we'd eat a bag of pine nuts together. We'd just sit there and look at all them runny lines and listen to old Lester Pruitt's hound dog baying away at the moon. Way off yonder, you could hear the whistle off the Nashville train passing through. Woo woo! And that's the only sound there'd be, except every once in a while Ida Carrington cracking open a pine nut with her teeth. I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't mean to run off like that. I'm sure a lady like you's got a lot better memories of moonlit nights and chomping away at pine nuts and looking at guys. Well, I guess I'll shove off if the captain don't need nothing else.
No, that'll be all.
Well, see you tomorrow night, ma'am. Good night, Captain.
Off to your night of date with Captain Iron Pants?
I wish you'd stop calling her that.
Why?
Well, it ain't respectful, and she's a lady.
A lady? Oh, Gomer, look alive.
Well, she is, and she's a real nice lady, too.
You know what I bet, Gomer? I bet she's got a tattoo on her arm.
You know what, Duke? You ain't a gentleman is what?
Huh?
Talking that way about a lady. It's just crude talk.
Oh, come on.
It's true. It ain't nothing but crude talk.
Gomer, it's just too bad you're only a boot and she's a captain. Otherwise, you could take her out. You picture that, fellas? Gomer out dancing with Captain Iron Pants? She'd probably want to lead.
It's crude talk. It ain't nothing but crude talk. You're crude, Duke. You're awful crude. Good evening, Captain. I didn't hear you come in.
This is an office, Private, not a dance hall.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about that. It's just that whenever I hear any kind of music, my feet just naturally start moving. Before I know it, all of me's moving. Do you dance, ma'am?
I beg your pardon?
I said, do you dance?
No.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame.
What?
I mean, 'cause dancing is just about the most fun there is once you get the hang of it.
Private, get on with your work.
Yes, ma'am. Captain?
What now?
I bet there are a lot of nice officers on this base that are just dying for you to learn.
Look here.
Like that Colonel Van Pelt. I seen him through the officers' club window one night while I was on duty, and he was dancing with a girl not half as pretty as you.
Private, you may go back to your quarters now.
Yes, ma'am. Captain? If you'll excuse me for saying this, well, I know that you're a top-notch Marine, and you really work hard at it. But you was a lady before you was a Marine, and a mighty fine lady, too. So maybe, if you'd work a little at that, I mean, maybe...
Maybe my nickname wouldn't be Iron Pants?
Why, never. Good night, ma'am.
Good night, Captain.
Good night, sir.
Captain Martin.
Yes, sir.
That's very nice, whatever it is you have on.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
Good evening, ma'am. Well, don't you look nice, ma'am?
Thank you, Private.
Real nice. Well, what would you like for me to do this evening?
Private Pyle, you've completed your week of extra duty with me, you know. It won't be necessary for you to come back here anymore.
Oh, heck.
What?
Well, I was beginning to enjoy coming here every evening after chow, ma'am. And I'm gonna miss it, what? But don't you worry, I won't forget the lesson you wanted me to learn. I'll salute all officers, whether they're man or woman.
Good.
And next time you come passing by, I know just what I'll do. May I? Good afternoon, ma'am.
Very good, Private.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, I don't reckon I'll be seeing much of you anymore, ma'am.
Goodbye, Private.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Private.
Ma'am?
There are hundreds of men on this base who salute me when I walk by. If you should forget and tip your hat instead when I pass, well, if no one else is around, I'll try not to notice.
Oh, don't you worry, ma'am. I won't never forget. Well, bye, ma'am.
All right, let's go. Let's pick it all up. Let's move it. Cut. Afternoon, sir. Afternoon, ma'am. As you were. All right, let's go. Let's pick it all up. Let's get this area cleaned up.
Something interesting catch your eye, Private?
Don't you look nice, Sergeant? Don't you look real nice?
Huh?
Captain Martin, don't she look nice? Bless her heart.
Pyle, that is a Marine captain you're looking at. That's all. A Marine captain.
Oh, yes, sir. But she's a lady. She's a real fine lady.
Men, I just figured out why the Marines sing on their way to battle.
Yeah, why is that?
That's right.
Because after boot camp, any kind of war is like a vacation.
Boy, you ain't kidding.
Oh, it ain't all that, Dad. That obstacle course is good for us.
Oh, well, you get a load of this. Gomer likes the obstacle course. Hey, Gomer, what happened to Hemsley?
Last time I seen him, he was bouncing on that log, going over the mud hole. I wonder if he made it.
Oh.
He didn't make it.
Hold it, young man. There seems to be a speck of dust on your lapel. Whew.
Don't let it bother you, Hensley. At least this way you won't get sunburned.
Boy. I don't know. After all those John Wayne movies, I thought we'd be just walking around all day in a sharp blue uniform with a girl on each arm.
A girl? Ha! They won't even let us have a candy bar.
Gomer, if they gave you your choice right now, a girl or a candy bar, which one would you take?
What kind of candy bar?
Oh, brother. Listen to those clowns in there. Why don't I go in and chew them out real quick?
Wait a minute. 3 times over the obstacle course and they still got strength enough to laugh and feel good, leave them alone. That's a good group of people in there. Lots of spirit and snap. I like that. You know, Corporal, they got possibilities. That's a good group. Real good group.
10, hut!
This platoon is the sorriest bunch of knuckleheads I've ever had the agony of working with. If you don't start snapping to and shape up, there ain't the slightest possibility that any of you will even last a week. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir!
What?
Yes, sir!
I can't hear you!
Yes, sir!
All right. Now, you people averaged 5.5 minutes this afternoon on the obstacle course. That's not bad. Not bad at all. For an old ladies knitting team. But Marines do that course in under 4 minutes. So tomorrow you will do it better and faster. And Private Pyle. Good old happy Private Pyle. Is there something funny about all this, Pyle? Is there? Do you find the obstacle course funny?
No, sir.
Then explain why you got a big, stupid grin on your face all the time you're running the obstacle course.
Well, sir, it's kind of hard to explain.
Try.
Well, sir, there I am doing it, and there all my buddies are. They're doing it, too, and we're all doing it together. I don't know.
That's it? That's why you're grinning?
Yes, sir. It's what the Marine guidebooks calls the spirit de corps. That means spirit of the corps.
I know what it means. And it doesn't mean grinning when you're working. When you work, and you don't grin on my time. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Will you remember that?
Yes, sir. Grin after lights out only.
All right. Now, you people, listen up.
Sir, Private Harry Phillips requests permission to speak to drill instructor, sir.
Get that cover off.
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you want?
Sir, Private Harry Phillips reporting as assigned to platoon 318.
You've been transferred to this platoon?
Yes, sir.
All right, grab a rack. Remember, tomorrow you will run that obstacle course in 4 minutes flat. And if you do it real nice, I might even let you do it with full field packs on your back. As you work.
Sir.
What is it now?
Permission to get my gear. It's in the duty hut, sir.
Move it. Phillips guy, we would have to get him.
You know him?
I know about him. I heard he's a real troublemaker. He's goofed up in 2 platoons already.
Why don't we straighten him out in advance, then? Really lay down the law.
I don't want him fouling up this platoon. It's too good a group.
Let's tell him.
Wait a minute. Move it! On second thought, let the platoon straighten him out.
Huh?
It's better if they do it. They gotta live with the guy. After all, I'm not always around to straighten out their problems for them.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. You know what that's called? Strategy.
Hey, there's my bunk.
Did you hear what he said? It's his bunk.
I expect I didn't make myself clear. There's my bunk.
Can't you get another one?
I suppose so, but I picked this one out special on account of it's just 11 steps from the door, same as my bed in the filling station back home.
You don't say.
Uh-huh. The other night, a car honked its horn going down the highway. Don't you know I heard it? Got up, automatic, walked them 11 steps right out that door.
But this racket do me nice. You see, I had a bunk in the same exact spot in the other barracks.
Is that a fact?
And now I'm in a strange place.
Well, you take it then. Shoot, I can find another.
Good.
Clean forgot my manners. Didn't introduce myself. I'm Gomer Pyle. Heard the sergeant say you're Harry Phillips.
Alert, very alert.
You'll like this platoon, Harry. It's a great bunch of guys. Talk about a spirit de corps. They've really got it. Might as well meet some of them now. This here's Duke, and that's Vern Williams. Vern here's a natural-born athlete. That there's Joey Lombardi. His folks come all the way from Naples, Italy. That's an Italian place. He talks it, too. Hey, Joey, say something in Italian.
Come on, Gomer.
He taught me how to say Mamma Mia. That means my mama. Italians say that a lot.
How about that?
Well, I guess I better go make up my bunk. Go ahead and meet some of the other fellas, Harry.
Hey, Gomer, you don't have to give that creep your bunk.
Oh, I expect one's as good as another. Besides him being new here, we ought to do our best to make him feel at home.
Why?
Well, he is new here, and I expect he's shy.
Hey, Pyle!
Shy, huh? He's pretty pushy for a guy who's shy.
Oh, that's just his way. It's to help him get over his being shy.
Huh?
You see, some folks who are shy try to fool you into thinking they ain't by making a lot of noise. Now, that's fact.
Gomer, you should have been a psychiatrist.
A what?
A doctor who talks to people about their problems.
Not me. I'm too shy.
You got a real good stroke there, Gomer.
Gosh, it's real kind of you to say.
I've been watching. It's really slick.
Shoot. Raking's just raking. Nothing to it.
Not the way you do it. Someday when you get a chance, you think you show me how?
I'll show you now if you like.
You think you got time?
It's nothing much but a reach and pull, all sort of gradual like. Reach and pull, reach and pull. Whenever you do it smooth, it's less tiring.
It sure is.
Or you can hum under your breath. Whenever I rake, I find myself humming under my breath. You know what goes real good with it? Seesaw Marjorie doll.
No.
Uh-huh. What? Seesaw Marjorie doll, Jack shall have a new master. He shall make but a penny a day because he can't work any faster.
Good.
You can do other songs with it, too. Sometimes I do hymns, like When the Roll is Called Up Yonder or Beulah Land.
Uh-huh. Good idea. Don't miss that corner down there.
Sometimes when I'm raking, I squint my eyes, and it's just like I was flying in an airplane real high over fields that's just been plowed.
Right. It does. I think I'm catching on, Gomer.
Hey, that's it. You got it.
Do you call this area policed? Well, do you?
No, sir.
Your orders were to rake it, weren't they?
Yes, sir.
Then why didn't you rake it? Any reason?
No, sir.
Since you've been saving your strength, when you finish here, you can move that sand pile over there to the other side of the field, bucket by bucket. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, get busy. Rest of you people, secure the quarters.
Aye, sir.
When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, when the roll... Hey, Joey.
Gomer, you never learn. You sure let yourself get taken in. You know what kind of a crumb that Phillips guy is? I mean, he got you into this.
Well, I will admit he makes it kind of hard to have faith in him, but I say we give him the benefit of the doubt.
Why, Gomer? What for?
Well, there's just some people that you can't give up on. Like this feller back home, Lemuel Spurgeon. Well, he was real mean and he done ugly things, and everybody had give up on him except his mama. Then he done this real bad thing and they sent him off to prison, but his mama still had faith in him. But while he was in prison, he decided he'd take up a trade. And do you know something? Today, Lemuel Spurgeon is one of the finest cabinet makers in the state penitentiary. All because his mama had faith in him. Same with Harry Phillips. He may turn out.
Yeah, but in the meantime, buddy, you don't have to be his patsy. He's playing you for a sucker.
Shh, here he comes now, Joey.
Ignore him. Don't let him put any more over on you.
Why don't I just ask him if he's trying to make a sucker out of me?
Gomer, you
Hey,
can't...
Harry,
Wow, Gomer, you're working hard?
there's something I want to ask you, and I want you to tell me the truth. Are you trying to make a sucker out of me?
Huh?
Well, some of the fellers in the platoon, and I ain't mentioning no names, maybe that's what you're trying to do, is play me for a sucker. Are you?
Well, what if I am?
Huh?
I mean, somebody's got to be the patsy. So why shouldn't it be you? Does that answer your question?
Okay, now you heard him. Now you know. Look, there's only one way you're gonna get that jerk off your back. The next time he tries to pull something on you, let him have it good, right in the love-ons.
You mean fighting?
Well, you're not gonna keep taking that stuff from him, are you?
Yeah, but fighting.
Yes, let him have it good. Believe me, Gomer.
Always find us on the job, the United States Marine. Hey, y'all know what that is? It's the second verse of the Marine hymn. Not too many folks know it. Hey, you won't learn it. It won't take me but a minute to teach it to you.
Oh, knock it off.
Try something else, will you?
Well, we're a bunch of crab apples this morning.
Gomer, look, the guys are a little tired, you know, from the obstacle course. You'll teach them another time, okay, buddy?
Okay, but it's a nice verse. Mm-hmm. Our flag unfurled.
Yeah, sounds swell, Gomer. Sounds swell, Ben.
Hey, Harry, that's my bunk you're on.
I know, Gomer. I didn't think you'd mind.
But you ain't supposed to be on them during the day.
I know. That's why I picked this one. It's further from the front door.
Come on, Harry, get off.
Okay, in a minute.
You heard him. Get off.
Why, you gonna make me?
Yeah, I might.
You gonna do something about it?
Yeah, I am.
Now, Joey,
Look out, Gomer.
Chin up! Average time on the obstacle course? 5.5 minutes. That equals the record set by Grandma Moses. Now, this afternoon, we will have bayonet drill with the pugil sticks. And this platoon will... Whose rack is this?
Mine, sir.
This rack looks like somebody's been on it.
Yes, sir. It does, sir.
You been taking yourself little mid-morning siestas, Pyle?
No, sir.
Well, it looks that way. You know the rule about getting on your rack during the day?
Yes, sir.
Straighten it. And since you got yourself a little rest, I guess you feel up to a little extra duty? So you can move that sand pile again tonight after chow. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
As you were.
Gomer, why didn't you tell the sergeant it wasn't you in the wreck? Why didn't you tell him it was that creep here?
I'd have belt you for that.
Wait a minute. I can take care of this. I don't need nobody to fight my fights for me. Harry, I want you to come outside.
What?
I'm inviting you to step outside with me. Come on, Harry.
You sure you know what you're doing, country?
I know.
Get him over.
Hey, you guys! Stay in here. Leave him alone. Just the two of them between the huts won't attract any attention.
How about that, Gomer, huh? He finally had enough of that creep.
Well, there's just so much a guy can take from a rat like Phillips, even Gomer.
Yeah.
The window. Come on.
You think Gomer can take him?
Sure, I know the type. He don't rile easy, but when he blows, look out.
Shh. Well, this is as good a place as any. Would you step a touch closer?
This is close enough.
Well, I don't want the fellers inside to hear.
Hear what?
Well, what I got to say. That's the reason I asked you to step out here. I thought it'd be more private-like to talk. I didn't want to embarrass you by saying this in front of the other fellers. But, Harry, to be out and out with it, there are them here that don't think that you've been behaving yourself too attractively. Now, you may have the best reason in the world for being so contrary since you come here. whether it was the haircut or the tight shoes, or whether it's the world situation or a lumpy pillow you've been sleeping on, the fact remains is you got to change your ways. Now, a smart fella like you ought to be able to figure that out. But mainly, the thing I wanted to say is there's still a bright side to this. You can make up for everything. 1, you got to start doing your own chores. 2, you got to quit lying on other folks' bunks. 3, you got to stop picking fights with little Joey. And let me see if there's a 4th one. No? Well, anyway, just behave yourself more attractively. Well, that's all.
Wait a minute. You asked me out here to talk?
Yeah. Would you like me to go over them again? 1.
No, I got it.
Good. Believe me, I don't like this any more than you do. But it was bound to come to this sooner or later. Why, things was getting so bad we was about to lose our spread decors. You know what that means?
I do. Gomer, I gotta admit it. I can't figure you out. I don't know what you're more of, dumb or chicken.
He asked him out for a little talk. My strategy didn't work.
Oh, that was the strategy?
That's right. I knew Pyle didn't mess up his bunk. I knew it was that guy Phillips. I figured if I gigged him for it, then he'd finally stand up to Phillips. That's strategy.
But it didn't work.
I know. I just said that. Wait a minute. I know why he didn't fight. Pyle is a book recruit. He didn't want to go against regulations. I can set his mind easy on that. Go get him.
You can't tell one recruit to fight another.
I'm not going to tell him to fight him. I'm going to do it another way. Strategy. Well, I've been noticing this thing between you and Phillips, and I don't like it one bit. But I ain't got time to play nursemaid to all you people. Now, some of these things you got to take care of yourself. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, for the most part, the Corps takes a dim view of recruits brawling and settling their problems among themselves. But there are times when I am not around. Do I have to say any more?
No, sir. I remember what you said. I promise there won't be no fighting of any sort whatever.
How's that?
Well, sir, I'm ashamed to say this, but you got me here right in the nick of time. That feller had me so riled up from a talk we had, I'd most likely be tangling with him right this minute if you hadn't set me straight.
You mean you were going
What's more, I'll make sure that none of the other fellers lay a hand on him neither. You and my daddy say the same thing. There ain't one fight in a million that accomplishes nothing. I remember, sir.
All right, Pop. All right, just go.
Sir? Did I say something wrong?
Just go, go, go!
I said something wrong.
Well, your strategy didn't work again.
You shut up! What that knucklehead doesn't understand is he'd be doing Phillips a favor.
How do you figure?
A guy like Phillips has got to get it drilled into him that nobody but nobody's going to be his patsy. Once he finds that out, he'll settle down and be a good recruit. He'll solve a problem for himself and for the whole platoon. Right now, Pyle's the only one that can do that. You people will now pair up for bayonet fighting using the pugil sticks. This pugil stick represents your rifle. The end with a stripe on it is the bayonet. The plain end is the butt of your rifle. Now remember, from the on-guard position, you can make 5 attack movements. Corporal? The sledge, hut! The jab, hut! The vertical butt stroke, hut! The horizontal butt stroke, flat! The smash, hut, hut! Thank you, Corporal. Now, first 2 people. Phillips. And...
Sergeant, May I?
Not now, Pyle.
Please, sir.
Are you sure, Pyle? Don't you want to observe a little first?
No, sir. I know what I'm doing. I want to. I really want to.
All right. Suit up. Now, you people remember, there are 5 attack movements you can make from the on-guard position. The slash, the jab, the vertical butt stroke, the horizontal butt stroke, and the smash. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. You 2 men ready? All right, move back, give them room.
Take it easy.
On guard.
Watch out now, Gomer. Watch out for it. Watch out for it. It's hard. Watch out. Keep on dancing around, Gomer. Don't let him hit you. Don't let him hit you solid. Watch out now, Gomer.
I'm doing this for your own good, Harry.
Come on, Gomer. Now get on there. Come on, Gomer. Come on, baby. Come on, Gomer. That's it. Hey. Come on, Gomer. Hey. Come on, Gomer. Get him again. One more. Get him, Gomer.
All right, Phillips, you've had it. Okay, Lombardi, let's see how you make out.
Watch him, Joey.
Yeah, watch him, Gomer.
Hey, Joey.
Get out of here. I don't get it, Pyle. How come you can knock that Phillips flat and yet you can't even handle that little Lombardi guy?
Well, sir, you see, the big feller needed a lesson, and the little feller didn't. Hey, Harry. I just wanted to tell you I'm sorry about that bayonet practice. The fact is,
shut up. What are you doing, Pyle? Daydreaming? What's the matter with you?
Sir, can I ask you a question?
What is it?
Well, wasn't it your belief that once Harry Phillips got himself knocked down a few times, he'd be a better recruit?
That's right.
And once that was accomplished, why, I'd solve things around here more or less?
That's right.
Well, sir, if you don't mind my saying so, it ain't solved nothing. Harry Phillips is still as mean as he can be.
Nah, you're wrong, Pyle. It did solve something.
Sir?
For one thing, he's being transferred to another platoon. As for making him a better recruit, well, one knock on one afternoon ain't gonna do it. But if somebody else in his next platoon can take up where you left off, then somebody else after him, well, who knows?
He might even get a Esprit de Corps, mightn't he?
That's right. He might even get the Esprit de Corps. You are a knucklehead, you are a goof-off, you are a gold brick. Have you ever heard that?
No, sir. Wally, my boss back home, used to call me a jabbernail and a mooncalf, but never the ones you say it.
Then I'll say 'em again. Knucklehead, a goof-off, and gold brick.
Never heard those words where I come from, Sergeant. You must be from the Midwest.
Knock it off. Pyle, I will tell you what a gold brick is. A gold brick is a person who does not do his work, who does not pull his load. Pyle, you are a gold brick.
No, sir,
You have not done a decent day's work all week, Pyle, all week.
Yes, sir. Ask anybody. Hey, fellers.
As you were. Pyle, do you realize you get paid a salary? Do you realize you're accepting money under false pretenses? Pyle, you are stealing money.
Why, I never.
Stealing?
No, sir. Even back home when I worked at the filling station, and I'd get a coin out of the cash register for the pop machine, I always left a note saying Gomer owes.
Well, you better leave a note for the U.S. taxpayer, because that's who pays your salary. And he pays it no matter what. His kid might go without roller skates, but you get paid.
Well, that's just terrible.
It is when you goof off and don't earn it. And, Pyle, this week you have not earned it. All right, all you people, listen up. Pay call will be at 0800 in the duty hut. You will report there at that hour, and you will not keep the pay officer waiting. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
As you were. Pyle, how you can accept that money after the week you put in, I'll never know.
Sir, Private Richard Hemsley.
Sign.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, Private Gomer Pyle.
Sign. What are you doing, Private?
I'm returning some, sir.
What?
Well, sir, I didn't work hard enough last week, so I oughtn't to get paid for it. I'm returning part of my pay, sir, $10.
You returning?
That money should go to some taxpayer to buy some roller skates for his young'un. Thank you, sir.
That's a conscientious recruit. Or he's a nut.
Don't spend that all in one place, Gomer.
That's a good one, Duke. Excuse me, sir.
At ease, Pyle.
You're gonna be real proud of me, sir.
What?
I returned a whole week's pay, and I feel a whole lot better about it, too.
Why? Why'd you do that?
You remember that there fine speech you gave to me about how I was stealing a week's pay from the taxpayers? Well, I got to thinking about it, and I decided you was right. So what I done, I just returned a whole week's pay. Feel real good about it, too.
You returned a week's pay? Just gave it back?
Yes, sir. If it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't have done it at all. Sergeant, you deserve all the credit.
I don't want any credit.
You don't, sir?
No, I don't know what this is all about, but I sure don't want any credit.
You know something, sir? You sure are modest for a sergeant.
Yeah, I'm modest. Now get back to your quarters.
You know what my grandma always said? She said, modesty is one of the kingly virtues in this whole world.
Move it! Move it! Move it!
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight, Lieutenant. One man didn't take full pay, right?
That's right, sir. The recruit's name's Gomer Pyle. He had some crazy story about not deserving it. He just left it and ran off.
What?
That's right, sir. He said he didn't work hard enough last week.
You kidding me?
No, sir.
Oh, I never heard anything like this.
No, sir, neither have I.
Gomer Pyle, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, he's either very conscientious or he's a nut.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll put it through just like this. Battalion will handle it.
What's a Gomer Pyle, anyway?
It's a recruit, sir.
A recruit? What kind of a recruit sends back money?
Well, I'm not sure, sir.
Darndest thing I ever heard of.
Yes, sir.
You know what I think? I think it's a publicity stunt.
Yes, sir, it could be.
Yeah. Some man will do anything to get their name in the paper. This Pyle's probably an actor who figures to make a fuss and cash in on the publicity. Gomer. Gomer. Sounds like an actor's name, doesn't it?
May I suggest, sir, we send the money back down the line to the original officer who took the money and have him return it to this pile? That way, there won't be any publicity on this level.
Good idea. Send it on back down with my endorsements. And I want a signed receipt to make sure he receives the money.
Yes, sir.
Ever hear anything like this before?
No, sir. I can't say as I have, sir.
Well, as I say, he's probably an actor after publicity. Or he's a nut.
Lieutenant, you wanted to see me, sir?
Yes, I did. Gomer Pyle is in your platoon, that right?
Yes, sir.
Did you know that Pyle returned part of his pay this month?
He didn't.
Yes, he said he didn't earn it. Where do you suppose he got an idea like that?
I don't know, sir.
Is it possible he got the idea from you?
Me, sir?
Yes, you know how a recruit might misinterpret an order he gets from his DI.
Well, it's possible he might have misunderstood something I said to him, sir.
Like what?
Well, I chewed him out for not working hard enough. I do that to all the men. He's the first knucklehead that ever insisted on returning money. That's all it was, sir, just a little misunderstanding.
It's gotten to be quite a big misunderstanding, Sergeant.
It has, sir?
It has. I won't waste time. I want you to get Pyle to take this money back. As a matter of fact, I'd do it within the next 36 hours.
I'll get him to take it back, sir. Oh, I'll get him to take it back.
Sergeant, we need a signed receipt from Pyle, and he won't be able to do that if he has a broken arm.
Pyle.
Hey, Sergeant, sir. You like my painting work?
Ah, that's beautiful. Did you sign your name at the bottom of it?
Sign my name. Oh, you mean like them artist fellers do whenever they paint a picture? Oh, I got you now. Hey, Sergeant, you know something? You're really witty. Sign my name.
Well, before you sign that, sign this.
What's that, sir?
Never mind, just sign it.
Can I read it?
I doubt it. All right, you read it, now sign it.
But, sir, this says I took back that there week's pay.
That's right. Now, I don't want any trouble over this. Just sign it.
Well, I sure as heck don't want to cause you any trouble, sir, but I just couldn't take back that there taxpayer's money.
Why not?
Well, it ain't my money. I didn't earn it.
Well, never mind about that. Right now, I want you to take this money back and sign this receipt. Now, sign it, Pyle. Sign it.
I just couldn't, sir.
Sign the paper, Pyle. Sign it.
But, sir...
Now, Pyle, you listen to me. Look, Pyle, I can't order you to sign this. So what I'm doing is, I'm asking you to take the money back and sign this receipt. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, sign it.
But I couldn't take back something that don't belong to me. You was right about me not earning that money, right as rain. That's the reason I turned it back in. Some poor taxpayer's young'un having to do without his roller skates.
Forget the roller skates. Sign it, sign it.
I sure would like to oblige, Sergeant, but you know what's guiding me in this situation?
What?
My grandma. Grandma Pyle always used to say, a workman should be worthy of his hire. Bless her heart.
All right! You'll sign it! You'll sign it! You'll sign it if it's all I think you'll do. You'll sign it! You like everybody else! As you were.
You know what I'd do? I'd stick his head underwater and I wouldn't let him up until he signed that receipt. Or I might kill him and send the money to his next of kin.
Look, will you just do your work and let me think?
Okay. Okay. You got it, right?
I got it.
You're gonna kill him?
No, listen. I'll do it with a game.
Oh, you mean we're gonna play a game and the winner kills Pyle? That's
Listen, will you? I'm gonna hold a raffle, and the winner gets the money. Now, guess who the winner's gonna be? Private Gomer Pyle.
How's he gonna win?
Oh, he'll win. He'll win or I'll kill him. Take a slip and get inside for the drawing. Take a slip. Take a slip. Take a slip. Come on.
Excuse me, sir. What is it, sir?
Some silly thing dreamed up by some morale officer to keep you sissies happy. Now, take a slip and get inside. It's for a raffle.
Oh, what's the prize, sir?
The prize is in this envelope. How do I know what's inside of it? Take a slip and get inside and don't ask so many stupid questions.
Yes, sir.
Take a slip. Take a slip. All right? Take a slip. Keep the line moving. Take a slip. Hey, take a slip. Take a slip. Take a slip.
Oh, shoot. I got number 7.
What are you complaining about? 7's a lucky number.
Not for me. 6 was always my lucky number. I had a hog once, and I entered him in a contest, and he was number 6, and he won.
Hey, Gomer, I got number 6. I'll swap with you.
No fooling?
Sure, I'll take 7.
Hey, that's a good deal.
What do you guys think the prize is gonna be?
It's me.
Catch. Hut. As you were. All right, you people. This is going to be just like a raffle back home. Here are the matching numbers. I'll draw a number from the helmet, and the winner takes the prize. And it's back to work once this foolishness is over with.
Back home, whenever they had a raffle, they always ask up an impartial party to do the drawing.
Pyle, are you accusing me of not being impartial?
Gosh, no, sir. I never knew what impartial meant.
All right. I don't like nobody questioning my impartialness. All right, now for the drawing. The lucky number is 7.
Hey, that's me, sir.
All right, Pyle, just sign the official winner's form and take the prize. All right, Pyle.
Sir.
Come on, Pyle, what are you waiting for? Take the prize.
Sir.
What do you want?
Sir, I have the winning number.
You do not.
Didn't you say number 7, sir?
Right, Pyle.
There it is, sir. Number 7.
Pyle, what number have you got?
6. I had the winning number, but I swapped with you. I guess 6 is only lucky for hogs.
Hogs? Hogs.
Sir, about the prize. What was the prize, sir?
Look, I was against this from the beginning. I don't think we have to entertain a bunch of recruits.
Sir, but I just...
No buts. The next time somebody comes up with this, I'll tell them what I think about this kind of idea.
Sir, I was just curious, what was the prize?
100 push-ups. Do you want them?
No, sir.
All right.
That sure is a curious prize for a raffle. They used to give away a turkey or a TV set, but 100 push-ups.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Carter. Just put the receipt on my desk. Just leave the receipt, Sergeant.
It hasn't been signed, sir.
It hasn't?
No, sir. Private Pyle refuses the money, and I can't get him to take it. And, sir, regulations don't show where a recruit can be forced to take money. I looked every place, and I can't find anything.
I see. Got any suggestions, Carter?
No, sir, I tried everything.
Okay, I guess the depot commander can solve it.
General Wells?
That's right. I'm sending this whole thing to him.
Oh, sir, I don't think you have to do that.
No? I don't have much choice. You know who's waiting for that receipt, Sergeant? The Pentagon.
The Pentagon?
That's right.
The Pentagon.
There we go, Sergeant. Carry on.
Pentagon.
Hi, Vince, so you took care of it.
Huh?
I mean, you went right to the top. No horsing around with you, right?
What are you talking about?
Pyle, he got called up to General Wells' office.
Pyle is with the general? What do they want him for?
Well, don't you know?
Well, I didn't arrange it.
No?
Oh, that does it. You know good and well he'll tell the general that whole stupid story about how I got him to turn back his pay.
You think he would?
Vince, you've been ordered to report to General Wells on the double.
What'd I tell you? You know you were right. You told me to kill him. You should have listened. Now it's too late.
Yes, sir.
Right, sir. Very good, sir. I'll get on it right away. Sergeant?
Sergeant Carter, sir.
The general wants you to go right in.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yes, it's all been taken care of. I have the recruit working here now, and I see his drill instructor has just come in. Oh, yes, General, I'll tell him. Right. Goodbye, sir.
Sergeant Carter reporting as ordered, sir.
At ease, Sergeant. That was Washington, Sergeant.
Pentagon?
Pentagon. How long have you had those stripes, Sergeant?
It would have been... It will be 9 years next month, sir.
Sergeant Carter, I'm going to make an example of you for the benefit of every non-com on this post. Now, Private Pyle has told me all about this pay incident, and he laid the responsibility directly on you.
He did?
Sergeant, any man who can instill the devotion and loyalty to the corps that you've instilled in Private Pyle deserves to be commended.
Well, sir, I can explain. Sir, did the general say commended or condemned?
Commended, Sergeant, commended. When you get a boot to return a week's pay because his sergeant told him he didn't earn it, that's a pretty big sacrifice. The sergeant in question must be a very good sergeant. Well done, Sergeant. Well, that's all. I just wanted to let you know.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
Begging the general's pardon, but, sir, if the general is pleased with Private Pyle's activities, why is he being punished, sir?
Punished, Sergeant? Oh, you mean the scrubbing?
Yes, sir.
That's not punishment, Sergeant. That was Private Pyle's idea.
Sir?
Overtime. You see, Gomer thought it might be a good idea for him to put in a few extra hours every day and earn that money back.
Oh?
I think it was a fine idea, don't you?
That is a good idea. Yes, sir, it's a very good idea. That was Gomer's idea, sir?
That's right, Sergeant. That's all.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, Sergeant. Remember, a workman should be worthy of his hire.
Grandma Pyle. Yes, sir. to work, Pyle.
Oh, hey, Sergeant, sir. I didn't see you. Gee, don't you look slick? Got on your tie and everything.
Well, I just came from a little meeting of all the DIs. The general thought it'd be a good idea if I gave a little talk on how to instill responsibility in the men.
Well, you're just the one what can do it.
Well, look, if you want to knock this off now, it's okay.
Shazam, you mean just quit?
That's right. Take some time off. Just don't let anybody see you while you're standing around, huh?
Boy, that's great. Let's see now. Half a day at $73 a month.
What are you doing?
I was just trying to figure out how much I'd have to give back to the paymaster this month for taking a half day off. 30 days.
Pyle, get back and clean these cans. I want them clean, you understand? Please get on. When you finish, I want you to get out of here.
Sanitizing blanket. Felt a strange peace descend upon him. No paperwork. No Kronos. No Jethro. Just a blissful, feverish quiet. I hope there ain't nothing serious. Merkel fretted to Bethal. Don't worry about it, Jethro, Bethal said. Has Jethro continued to linger in the office? But he does look bad, Jethro insisted. He looks just like my Aunt Serafina did the day she went down to have her ear long. Jethro. Harkness's distant voice could be heard from the corridor. Bethal, having been relieved of duty, came back to Harkness's office, which was now his temporary command post. He sat at Harkness's desk, diligently trying to catch up on paperwork. Jethro, of course, was never far. Excuse me, Chief Engineer, Jethro asked, entering the office. Not again, Jethro. Bethal sighed, not looking up. I know you're busy trying to catch up on your reports and everything, but you were just wondering how Commander Harkness is making out. Right, Jethro prompted. Well, golly, it's been 3 days. That's right. Like I said yesterday and the day before, he's doing fine. Just fine. Now get out of here. Bethal barked, irritated. I sure am glad to hear that. As a matter of fact, he's due out of sickbay tomorrow morning, Jethro announced cheerfully. Tomorrow morning? Bethal slammed his hand on the desk. Yeah, not a minute too soon as far as I'm concerned. Good. Well, I would be glad to see him. It's not that you're not doing a fine job in this place, Chief Engineer, Jethro said with earnest diplomacy. You're doing real fine. It's just that, well, you're not Commander Harkness. But then, who is? Get back to work on the flaws. I got a lot of work to do, Bethal snapped. Right, Chief Engineer. Jethro turned to go, then paused. Commander bothered you. I'm begging your pardon, but do you feel all right, Chief Engineer? Yeah, I'm fine. Just a little beat? Maybe, Bethal replied, rubbing his eyes. I guess that's it. That's what Jethro prompted. The reason you look so flushed. Not feverish, mind you, just flushed. Yeah, Bethal raised an eyebrow. I could tell a lot better if I could feel your ears. No, just get out of here, Bethal roared, swatting Jethro's hand away. A few hours later, the entire platoon was buzzing with concern. Jethro had gathered them. Hey fellas, wait till you hear the news. Just wait till you hear the news. I just talked to Chief Engineer Bethal, and Commander Harkness is all better. And he's going to get out of sickbay first thing in the morning. That's good news, Merkel said weakly, looking pale. Well, I'm surprised at you, Phyllis, Jethro chided, making light of a man that's been in the hospital for 3 days, especially a man like Commander Harkness. I'm sorry, Jethro, Cadet Stella said, looking distinctly unwell. It's just that I don't feel so red-hot myself. He clutched his head. I haven't been feeling too well either. My head feels kind of funny. I'm warm all over, Merkel added, also looking flushed. I know, Jethro exclaimed, his eyes gleaming. You want to feel my ears, right? He reached for Merkel's head. Merkel flinched away. Hey, Jethro, I don't see anything. Bethal, stumbling into the barracks, looking distinctly mottled, shouted. Ah, that didn't work. Bethal clutched his stomach. Face platoon. Fall in. Come on. Move it. Move it. Move it. He looked awful. The next morning, Commander Harkness, looking surprisingly fresh and revitalized, walked briskly into the barracks. Commander Hark, go on in your back, Jethro Bumble exclaimed, bursting forward, an enormous, infectious smile on his face. It sure is good to see you, Hark. Come on. Move it. Move it. Move it. You're looking awful good. Commander Jethro chirped, considering a little peaky around the face. Maybe. Jethro, where is everybody? Harkness asked, confused by the eerie silence in the usually bustling barracks. You look like you've lost weight, but that's natural. Jethro prattled on, completely missing the urgency in Harkness's tone. It's just perfectly natural. Jethro, what's going on? Oh, that's right, Commander. I guess you don't know, Jethro said, as if sharing a secret. Don't know what? Jethro, what? What? Harkness demanded, his patience already fraying. Everybody's down with the solar flares, Jethro announced with a solemn, yet somehow still cheerful, expression. Just like you had, even Chief Engineer Bethal, right? They all woke up this morning feeling sick and sore all over. I never saw anything like it. Harkness stared, a slow realization dawning. So that's what the excitement was all about. They must have been checking in when I was checking out. He sank onto a nearby bunk. He is a shame, Commander. A whole platoon coming down with the solar flares. They say that somebody carried it right into the platoon, and everybody caught it from this carrier. Harkness looked up, suspicion glinting in his eyes. Carrier? Then how come you're not sick? Jethro blinked, utterly sincere. Me? Oh, I never catch nothing. He beamed proudly. And you're the only one here? Harkness asked, his voice filled with a terrible, growing dread. That's right. Looks like for the next few days, it's just you and me. Commander, just you and me, Jethro declared, his face radiating an eager, anticipatory happiness. Harkness stared into the abyss. He had just escaped Jethro for a precious few days, only to find himself marooned with him, completely alone. Attention, Jethro announced brightly, assuming the role of acting first platoon commander. How we got a lot to do today, so I want you to... Harkness held up a hand. It's just you and me, G. There's no use in me reading off the program for the day. He sighed, resigned. But I'll be glad to listen, Commander, if it'll make you feel any better. Jethro offered. Forget it. At ease. Jethro, at ease. Harkness slouched against the bunk, contemplating his personal hell. Just then, the communant on his desk chirped. First platoon, Commander Harkness. He answered wearily. Oh yes, sir. High Regent Hughes. The efficiency reports. Well, sir. Yes, sir. You'll have them by the night, sir. Jethro stepped forward. Excuse me, Commander, for leaving formation, but Captain Hughes gave me these inventory report blanks. He wants them filled out and returned to him by tomorrow noon. Harkness looked at the stack of forms, then at Jethro, a wild gleam entering his eyes. For the love of... I'll do it. Do what? Jethro asked. Fill out these forms. Be glad to. All you have to do is to tell me. Never mind, Harkness interrupted. Already over. Where's my... Well, he's in sick bay with all the others. Don't you remember? Jethro replied helpfully. The calm emunade chirped again. Harkness looked at it in despair. I'll get it. So get it, Jethro. Big deal. Jethro answered cheerfully. First platoon? Cadet Jethro Bumble, speaking for Commander Harkness. Yes, ma'am. I sure will. Thank you for calling. Bye. He hung up, smiling. That was Lieutenant Commander Zara over in sickbay. She's missing some of Chief Engineer Bethal's personal records. Third drawer, right in the front. Right. Commander? I'll take it over there myself if it's okay. I'll be glad to, Commander. I'll be more than happy to. Take him over. Take him over. Just go, Harkness urged. Right. Commander, it's a pleasure. Anything I can ever do to help you out. It's always a pleasure. Especially now that you're so hard-pressed. And, Commander. Yeah. I just want you to know how thrilled I am to be working so close to you. Yeah. I've learned a lot from you already, but not half as much as I'm going to learn for the rest of this week. What with you and me and being alone together like we are, Jethro gushed. Okay, Jethro. Okay, I get the message. Now, get going, huh? I got some work to do. Right, Commander. And don't you worry, Commander. I'll be back to help you out before you know it. From now on, it's just you and me, side to side. We're a team, huh? Commander, go. Jethro sprinted out, leaving Harkness with a profound sense of utter, agonizing solitude. The subsequent days were a torturous dance for Commander Harkness. Jethro, convinced he was an invaluable aide, shadowed his every move. At mealtimes, Jethro would appear, unbidden, at Harkness's table in the otherwise deserted mess hall. Commander, can I borrow the ketchup? Jethro asked, holding out a condiment dispenser. Well, Are you going to return it, Jethro? Or is it your own private stock? Harkness snapped, already exasperated. The ketchup. Harkness rubbed his eyes. Oh, I'm sorry. Here you are, Commander, since there's just the two of us. Do you mind if I join you? That way, it'll save all that hollering and icing and everything. Is it okay? I suppose. Harkness watched as Jethro pulled up a chair directly opposite him. What are you doing? Harkness asked, as Jethro sat down, staring intently at Harkness's mouth. I was just counting. Commander, how many times do you chew your food? Harkness nearly choked. I don't know. I don't count. I just eat. Elder Mavi Bumble says you should chew each mouthful of food 12 times before you swallow it, Jethro declared with solemn conviction. Anything less than 12 chews is bad for your digestive tract. You know that, Commander? Jethro, a human being ain't like a dog. A dog don't chew at all. He just swallows his food whole and lets his stomach do all the work. I remember once I had this old bird dog and he caught this wild turkey. Jethro, just eat your chow, huh? Just eat your chow and knock it off. Okay, Harkness commanded, his voice strained. Oh, I am. Commander, I am. I just like to take my time and enjoy it. You know, it sure seems strange. It's just the two of us at this big old table. Yeah, Commander, you just chewed that 4 times. Jeff, Harkness bellowed, slamming his fist on the table. Elder Marv Bumble was right. If you don't chew it 12 times, Jethro began again. You're off duty. How are you off duty? Don't you know you're off duty? Harkness roared, pointing wildly. I'm sorry, Commander, but you said I didn't got anybody to preach in front of me. Well, watch my mouth, Jethro insisted. I told you not to watch. Off duty. How are you off duty? How are you off duty? Help me. How are you off duty? Harkness stood up, yelling in desperation, Jethro's constant chatter driving him to the brink. Even the morning inspection became an agonizing ordeal. Well, tell him I'm ready for inspection, Sir Jethro said, standing rigidly in front of his immaculately ordered locker. I don't know why I'm even bothering, Harkness muttered, dragging himself towards Jethro's locker. But, Commander, you got to turn in a report to the lieutenant, Jethro reminded him. All right. It's okay, Jethro, Harkness grudgingly inspected. Commander, the locker, Jethro prompted. It's okay, Jethro. As you were, Commander, is that all? Yes, Jethro, that's all. But it sure went awful fast. Well, there wasn't much to do, Jethro. Commander. Huh? Jethro asked. Let's do it again. What? Can we do the inspection again just to kill some time? Jethro pleaded. Harkness simply stared, eyes wide with horror at the suggestion. That afternoon, Bethal, still looking somewhat spotty but out of sickbay, met up with a visibly healthier Harkness. Hey, hi, Vince. How you doing, Chuck? You feeling okay? Oh, not bad. Not bad, Harkness replied, rubbing his temples. Say, how are you getting along with your one-man platoon? Don't ask, Harkness groaned, running a hand through his hair. Not bad, huh? Do you know what life is like with Jethro? Do you have any idea? I can imagine, Bethal said sympathetically. It's worse than a horror movie. Every move I make there, he is sticking to me like a bee sticks to a plate of honey, and he never shuts up. Never for a second. Now, why can't he be in there with the rest of you guys? Harkness demanded. I don't know, Bethal mused. I guess he's immune. Looks like he's just a carrier, and he never gets it himself. Oh no, Harkness said, a slow, diabolical idea taking root. Maybe he just wasn't exposed long enough. Bethal stared at him. Yeah, that's it. I was just thinking, Jethro can't have that much immune. I mean, with a bug like that going around, nobody's immune should be that much better than anybody else's, right? Well, Vince, if you're thinking what I think you're thinking, Bethal began, his eyes widening. Do you blame me? Huh? No empire like you do? Do you blame me? Harkness countered, his voice dripping with desperation. What? Purposely exposing a guy to a case of the solar flares? Come on, Vince. Who said anything like that? Harkness gave a knowing wink. I was just thinking he's bound to catch it sooner or later, so why not now? Huh? Why not? Mothers do it all the time. When one kid gets it, she exposes all the kids to it. That way, she doesn't have to go through all that trouble one kid at a time. Bethal actually chuckled. Vince, you're as warm and human as they come. Yeah, you might say that, Harkness agreed, rubbing his hands together. I mean, If Jethro's got to catch some solar flares, no use. He should suffer alone. Ha! Later, Harkness called Jethro into his office. Commander, you wanted to see me? Jethro asked, ever eager. Yes, I did, Jethro, Harkness said, trying to sound as casual as possible. Can I say what she was going to say? Can I ask you something? What is it? Well, I was just thinking, if I had your permission to move in here with you, then I'd save you all that running back and forth to the barracks every time you wanted me, Jethro suggested, his face bright. Huh, Harkness stared. Jethro, however, continued. Like in the mess hall when I sat down next to you, I was right there to pass you anything you wanted. The salt, the pepper, the ketchup. Well, why not? Commander, it'd be a lot more efficient now that Chief Engineer Bethal S-bed's in. Harkness's eyes lit up. A Bethal S-bed. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, Jethro. That might be a good idea. Oh, thank you, Commander. Thank you, Jethro exclaimed, practically dancing. I just knew you got the idea. No, I think it's just great. Commander, you miss your bed over here? Yes, that's my bed. Now, don't you sleep with your head facing towards the window? Jethro asked, studying the bunk. Oh, yes, I do, Harkness confirmed. Then we'll have to switch the beds around, Jethro declared. Huh. You see, I sleep with my head facing exactly the other way. So if we switch the beds around, our heads will be facing each other. And that way we can talk without turning over. Yeah? We're gonna be roommates. Harkness felt a shiver of terror, but held his ground. This was the plan. This was it. Look, Jethro, on your way over to get your gear, do me a favor, will ya? Chief Engineer Bethal wants me to send over this holobook. Harkness handed him a book. Run it over for me, will ya? I'll be glad to, Commander. That's what I'm here for, Jethro beamed. And, Jethro, look, that'll give you a chance to pay your respects to Stella and Merkel and all the ganga, Harkness suggested, barely concealing his glee. Yes, sir, that's real thoughtful of you, Commander. Yeah? Just slip over and hand a book to Bethal personally, will ya? Remember how you just walked in on me the other day? Well, do the same thing, and give Bethal my best wishes. In fact, shake hands with him. Shake hands with the whole... Harkness almost hyperventilated with anticipation. That's a great morale building. Commander Harkness, you just think of everything, don't you? Jethro said, truly impressed. I try, Jethro. I try. Harkness managed, barely restraining a maniacal grin. A few minutes later, Jethro burst into the quarantine sickbay. Chief Engineer! Hey, Duke! Hey! Fayus! Jethro, how did you get in here anyway? Bethal, looking distinctly green, managed to croak. Well, I waited till the nurse left the desk out there, on account of Commander Harkness wanted me to give you this book personally, and give you his best wishes, Jethro explained cheerfully. Look, Jethro, you shouldn't have come in here. Yeah, go on. You'll get in trouble. This is an isolation ward, Stella warned, barely able to speak. Oh, don't worry about me, Duke. Jethro waved a dismissive hand. Well, here's your book, and best wishes from Commander Harkness. Best wishes to all of you from Commander Harkness. Jethro went around shaking every ailing cadet's hand, spreading the germs of the solar flares like a diligent cosmic gardener. Later, Jethro returned to Harkness's office, still glowing with accomplishment. Well, you did a little for the book, Harkness asked, trying to sound casual. I sure did, Commander, I sure did. And you gave it to Bethal personally, huh? Just like you say it. And did you shake hands with him and give him my best wishes? I sure did. And then after you visited with Bethal, did you have a nice bedside visit with all the boys? Well, now I'm shaking hands with everybody, Jethro announced proudly. Oh, wonderful, Harkness said, his heart pounding with triumph. He imagined Jethro, days from now, suffering horribly from the dreaded solar flares, finally giving Harkness the peace he so desperately craved. Well, Jethro seemed very nervous about it, though, Jethro said, a slight frown on his face. He did, hung, Harkness replied, confused. He said that the doctor told him there wasn't no such thing as being immune to solar flares. For eating somebody as healthy as I am, Jethro confided. Harkness froze. No kidding, I didn't know that. All it takes is just one little germ passed from one person to another. Just one little germ is all it takes. Jethro declared with an innocent solemnity that chilled Harkness to the bone. Is that so? Just one little germ, huh? Harkness asked, his voice strained, as a bead of cold sweat trickled down his brow. You know, I just can't believe we're gonna be roommates. Maybe you better pinch me, Commander, just to make sure. Jethro giggled, reaching out to pinch Harkness's arm. Later, Jethro. Later, just tell me, how many fellas you think you shook hands with? Harkness asked, his voice hoarse with dread, already feeling a strange warmth creeping over him. A day later, Chief Engineer Bethal, now fully recovered and looking refreshed, entered the deserted barracks. He found Harkness's office empty. He went to the sick bay. Hi, Vince, Bethal greeted, finding Harkness back in his original bed, looking miserable, covered in spots. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Harkness groaned. Never in a million stellar cycles. You just don't relapse as quick as that, Bethal observed. I guess you gotta be philosophical, Harkness mumbled. Like you said, it's a vacation away from knuckleheads like Jethro. Yeah, but 2 vacations in 1 week, Bethal teased. Better than no vacation from Jethro at all, right? Harkness sighed. Yeah, I guess you're right. If it's the only way I can keep him off my back. Okay, Harkness closed his eyes. Yeah, it's okay by me, Bethal agreed. Now you're talking. Yeah, I'm right back where I started, Harkness muttered, pulling his blanket higher. Suddenly, a cheerful voice echoed from the sickbay entrance. Yes, sir. I like it here fine, boy. Just fine. This way, please. Harkness's eyes snapped open in terror. Jethro, he rasped, his voice barely audible. Jethro Bumble, completely unblemished and radiating health, appeared in the doorway, leading a baffled sickbay attendant. Hey, Commander Harkness. Jethro, what are you doing here? Jethro, you're supposed to be in the hospital, Harkness exclaimed, pulling himself upright. That's the surprise, Commander, Jethro announced triumphantly. The doctor examined me right after he examined you, and he said I could go back to duty just as soon as I wanted to. He did, huh? The doctor said that. Harkness sputtered, incredulous. He said it was just a light case. It just goes to show you, Commander. Every cloud has its silver lining. Jethro beamed, oblivious to the despair on Harkness's face. Now we can get back to work together without missing a beat. Commander, hey, I was just good right here, while he was in the hospital. At your back. I'll be second to the dry paint. Just you right, Commander. I'll be here whenever you want, Jethro said, then offered Harkness a comforting pat on the arm. Harkness lay back, utterly defeated. His vacation, his brief respite from Jethro Bumble, was over. He had fallen into his own trap, and the universe, in its infinite comedic cruelty, had brought his tormentor back, healthier and more eager than ever, to be his constant, well-meaning shadow. Thank you, Commander, Jethro said, arranging the blankets around Harkness. Thank you. Harkness closed his eyes, his fate sealed. The silence he had craved was once again filled by the innocent, ceaseless chatter of Jethro Bumble, Intergalactic Corps Cadet. Our story unfurls not on the familiar sun-baked parade grounds of a U.S. Marine Corps base, but within the gleaming, utilitarian confines of Fort Resolute, an Astro Corps service training facility situated on a bustling, semi-futuristic Earth. Here, the thrum of atmospheric transports occasionally drowns out the barking orders of drill sergeants, and recruits, clad in slate, gray Astro Corps fatigues, dream not just of sea-to-shore landings, but of star-to-planet deployment. These are the ground pounders, the planetary defense and reconnaissance specialists, and their daily lives, while regimented, are perpetually punctuated by the bewildering, well-intentioned antics of one particular private. Our protagonist is Private Albert Pylon, atheist serial number 73. His eyes, wide and perpetually guileless as a child spotting a new constellation, tend to see the universe not as a chaotic void, but as a place brimming with simple truths and straightforward kindness. Standing in stark contrast, and often in direct confrontation with Albert's cosmic optimism, is Sergeant Rock Harding, a man whose grizzled face, perpetually clenched jaw, and stentorian voice were forged in the crucible of countless training exercises and the never-ending bureaucratic quagmire that underpins any military organization, be it terrestrial or stellar. Harding, whose temperament could charitably be described as a dormant volcano occasionally prone to explosive eruptions, found his particular Mount Vesuvius in the form of Private Pylon, The fluorescent hum of the Fort Resolute payroll office felt exceptionally mundane, even for a military installation designed for efficiency. But for the soldiers lining up, it represented the monthly injection of solvency into their meager enlisted budgets. A precious handful of credits to spend, or more often, lose. Private First Class Vince, serial number 67, barked a payroll clerk, a man whose weary tone suggested he'd been counting credits since the First Interstellar War. Vince, a sharp-faced recruit with ambitious glints in his eyes, snapped to attention, saluted, and collected his holographic credit chit with a crisp. He imagined the exotic Martian spices he'd buy from the intergalactic exchange post, or perhaps even a grav bike ride in the city's upper districts. Then came the name that invariably induced a faint twitch in Sergeant Harding's eye, even when spoken by a distant clerk. Private First Class Pylon, Elbert, serial number 73. Elbert, whose posture was more akin to a slightly deflated inflatable doll than a paragon of AstroCorps discipline, shuffled forward. He managed a sincere, if somewhat limp, salute. "Sir," he began, his voice carrying the gentle drawl of his home planet, Celestial Gulch. "I hope you don't mind my saying so, but I just can't do it. I just can't get over it." His brow furrowed in a manner that suggested a profound, existential dilemma, rather than the simple act of collecting his bi-weekly stipend. The payroll clerk, a seasoned veteran of countless pylonisms, simply sighed, preparing himself for the inevitable tangent. Sergeant Harding, who was attempting to wrestle with a stack of requisition forms that seemed to defy the laws of gravity, paused, pen hovering over a digitally illuminated date. He knew this sound. He knew this voice. "I come here month after month," Elbert continued, seemingly unaware of the lengthening queue behind him. "And you give me all this money for something I just purely love doing. It's just a wonderful life, sir. Being in the AstroCorps." The clerk, opting for brevity, merely handed over the credit chit. "That's fine, Pylon. Glad to hear you're enjoying your enlistment." He offered a strained, almost imperceptible nod towards Sergeant Harding, as if silently communicating, "Your problem, not mine." Elbert's face brightened, if that were even possible. "Oh, and I also wanted to say something about the food you've been serving in the Galactic Mess Hall. It's just been wonderful. Take last night. We had those hydrotuna croquettes. I went back for seconds, but there was so much left over. I could have had thirds if I'd have wanted." He smacked his lips, savoring the memory of the dehydrated protein delicacy. Sergeant Harding's jaw tightened. "That's fine, Pylon. Now if you'll..." He managed to cut himself off just before uttering something decidedly "And them new mattress covers we got in last cycle." Elbert rambled on, completely oblivious. "If I was staying at the finest hotel on this here planet, I couldn't ask for any better. Why? They're softer than a cloud after a celestial Gulch sun shower. Good, Pylon. Good." Next, Harding's voice, usually a booming command, now carried an edge of barely contained desperation. His index finger, thick as a Durasteel bolt, twitched with the urge to jab the next button on the virtual queue. Elbert, finally registering the subtle cues of military impatience, offered a deferential "Well, I can see you're busy, sir, so I'll see you next month." With another sincere, if clumsy, salute, he shuffled away, cradling his credit chit as if it were a fragile moon rock. "That's a long time between paydays." Humbled, Elbert heard Vince remark to another recruit as they exited the office. "And that's the truth." Humbled, a burly recruit, with an infectious grin, clapped Vince on the shoulder. "Well, here's my plan. First, I pick up my Liberty Paws. Then I borrow Duke's. I know this drive-in at the Orbital Rim District. He's just crawling with wild-looking stellar chicks." Vince raised an eyebrow, a skeptical smirk playing on his lips. "Really? What makes you so sure any of them will talk to you?" Humble let out a booming laugh. "They have to. They're grav hops. I'll just keep ordering till I get off duty." He puffed out his chest, envisioning a night of daring flirtation and endless synthetic food. Just then, a genuine Celestial Gulch twang echoed behind them. "Well, there you are. Fellas, I wondered where you all went." It was Elbert, his face alight with simple satisfaction. Vince sighed inwardly. "Listen, Gome," he said, using the nickname that had inexplicably stuck despite Harding's repeated attempts to enforce official nomenclature. "I'm going into town to meet some girls. You want to come along?" he offered, mostly out of habit, half expecting the usual rejection. Elbert shook his head, a slight frown creasing his brow. "Thanks a lot, but my plans are already made. First of all, I'm going to write a letter home, and then I'm going over to the Intergalactic Exchange Post. They're having a sale on some shower clogs, and I thought I'd pick me up a couple of pair. He adjusted the credit chit in his hand, a look of focused determination on his face. Vince stared. Gome, you're not going to spend your whole payday buying shower clogs, are you? The sheer mundaneness of the prospect seemed to drain the color from his face. But I have to, Albert insisted, as if discussing a critical Astrocourse directive. My other pair's warped from too many sonic cleanings, and you know what they say? Good hygiene starts from the feet on up. He gestured towards his sensible, slightly too large military boots. Hummel chuckled, shaking his head. That's the way you want it. We'll see you later, Albert. See you. Fellas, have a good time. Albert waved, genuinely pleased that his friends were pursuing their own paths, even if those paths didn't involve discounted foot protection. He hummed a tuneless Celestial Gulch ditty as he ambled towards the ice, his mind already calculating how many credits he could save on twin packs of Ecofoam shower clogs. The Intergalactic Exchange Post, or, was Fort Resolute's microcosm of civilian commerce, a dizzying array of terrestrial and off-world goods, from nutrient paste dispensers to personal gravlift boards. It was usually a bustling nexus of eager recruits blowing their freshly earned credits on everything from cheap synthetic beverages to hollow magazines featuring star-hopping peanuts. Today, however, as Albert Pylon approached, his singular mission of hygienic footwear firmly in mind, an unusual character lurked by a less trafficked side entrance, positioned strategically between a display of self-heating thermal blankets and a rack of cheap, mass-produced souvenir. This individual, whose suit shimmered with a slightly too luxurious sheen, and whose smile seemed permanently affixed, was a man who went by the name of Sterling Silvertongue Steele. Though on different days, in different jurisdictions, he might be Professor Gambit or Baron von Sw. Today, however, he was simply your pal. His eyes, sharp as a laser scalpel, constantly scanned the crowd, seeking out that particular blend of earnestness and vulnerability that made for an ideal mark. He spotted Albert Pylon from a distance, the slight frown of concentration as he navigated the throng. The honest-to-goodness credit chit clutched openly in his hand. A slow, predatory smile spread across Steele's face. Hey there, young man. Sterling Steele's voice was a smooth, oiled purr, designed to lull unsuspecting minds into a false sense of trust. He winked, flashing a diamond-encrusted Astrocourse ring. You, over here. Albert, ever polite, looked around to see if perhaps another person was being hailed. Seeing no one else, he pointed to himself. Oh, you want to see me, mister? Yeah, I got something to show you. Steele beckoned with a manicured hand, extending his wrist. Come here, son. Albert, curious as a kitten and wholly devoid of suspicion, shuffled closer. He peered at the object on Steele's wrist. Oh, that's a mighty nice chronometer there, Mr. He used the formal Celestial Gulch term for a watch. Steele beamed, a practiced glint in his eye. It's not just a chronometer, son. This here's an 8. He paused for dramatic effect, letting the golden glint catch the artificial lighting. Albert's eyes widened to the size of nebulae. And then you're selling it. Oh, I could never afford an expensive chronometer like that. His tone was wistful, a touch of genuine admiration in his voice. Back in Celestial Gulch, a good chronometer was a prized heirloom, usually handed down through generations, not bought on a whim. Why not, friend? Steele's voice dropped to a conspiratorial whisper, his gaze piercing. You've just been paid, haven't you? That's what I reckon. Why, yes, Albert affirmed, beaming. High in the world, you know that. He tapped his credit chit with pride. Well, been an ex-serviceman myself, like I am, Steele said, tapping his Astrocourse ring knowingly. You just kind of feel it in the air when payday hits a base. A sixth sense, you might say, for the morale of the troops. He chuckled, a practiced, hearty sound that did not quite reach his avaricious eyes. How about it, son? Wouldn't you like to have this chronometer for your very own? Albert hesitated, his natural politeness warring with his pragmatic, Celestial Gulch upbringing. Well, I'd like it very much, mister, but a chronometer like that wouldn't come within my budget. You see, I've got my allotments to send back home, and I've got to buy my shower clogs. And I've got to get a present for my Aunt Beulah's birthday. No, it's impossible. I could never afford an expensive chronometer like that. He shook his head, genuinely regretful. Steele, sensing the perfect hook, lowered his voice further, as if sharing an industry secret. Wait a minute, son. How much do you think it costs? Just guess. He held out the watch, the gold shimmering. Albert, peering closely, considered the intricate face, the polished links. $295. He finally declared, with the absolute certainty of someone who had done complex mental calculus. Steele, barely suppressing a triumphant smirk, widened his eyes in feigned amazement. Only $12.95. Golly, that's right, son. $12.95, and that includes sales tax and a lifetime warranty, including parts and labor. He offered a sweeping, magnanimous gesture, as if bestowing a royal decree. Albert Pylon's innocent, open face registered a conflict of emotions. His celestial gulch honesty warred with his genuine desire. Thank you very much, mister. But I just couldn't. You can't. Steele leaned in, a flicker of mock offense in his eyes. Well, $12.95 for a chronometer like that. Why, you'd be cheating yourself. Son! Ha! He feigned a scandalized look. Everybody knows that a gold chronometer costs 10 times that much. Albert's eyes widened further. The idea of cheating the vendor was horrifying. No, I just couldn't do that to you, Mr. My mama always said, treat others as you'd like to be treated, and that includes good folks selling watches. Steele cleared his throat, taking a step closer. What's your name, son? PFC Pylon. Gomer Albert Pylon. My name's Albert, sir, he corrected himself, a slight blush rising on his cheeks. My name's Sterling. Steele purred, extending a hand that felt oddly soft and cool. Sterling Steele, the serviceman's pal. Now, let me tell you something. Pylon, he squeezed Albert's hand with unexpected warmth. In all my years in business, Catherine, 2 men and women in the Astro Corps, I've never felt such a rapport with a customer. Imagine worrying about my profits. Take the chronometer, son, please. He pressed the watch gently into Albert's unresisting hand. Oh, I just couldn't. Mr. Sterling Steele, Albert stammered, his face flushed with polite refusal. As much as I'd like to have it, I just wouldn't enjoy it knowing how I'd taken advantage of you. Steele sighed dramatically, running a hand over his slicked back hair. Well, look, son, would you feel any better if I told you I was making a little something, a tiny, microscopic profit? He paused, letting Albert absorb this magnanimous concession. Can you? Albert asked, genuine concern in his voice. Practically giving it to me like you are. Well, Steele leaned in again, lowering his voice conspiratorially. Once in a while, one of my suppliers gets a hold of a piece of merchandise, and he has to unload it in a hurry. You know what I mean? He winked, a gesture designed to create an instant bond of shared knowledge. Oh, sure, Albert exclaimed, nodding sagely. You mean he's overstocked, U.S.M.C. He gestured expansively, his own memories of Celestial Gulch commerce surfacing. Back home at the height, sometimes we'd get overstocked on inner tubes for the land skimmers, and then we'd have to run a sale. Why, just last season, old man Abernathy got so many... Steele quickly cut him off. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Son, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, and I'd just break my heart to see you pass it up. He placed a hand over his chest, feigning sincere anguish. Well, if you really feel that way about it, Albert began, genuinely touched by Sterling Steele's concern for his hypothetical broken heart. How else can I feel? Steele insisted, his voice cracking with emotion. Take it, please. Good, Albert beamed, his scruples appeased by the explanation of overstock and the promise of a negligible profit for his new pal. He carefully counted out his newly acquired credits. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. You can just keep the change for your trouble. Mr. Steele, he pressed the money into Steele's hand. Steele, surprised by the extra generosity but maintaining his composure, gave a theatrical bow. Well, thanks, son. This has made my day. He slipped the extra credit swiftly into his palm. Albert, already admiring the shimmering gold on his wrist, paused. Mr. Sterling Steele, about that lifetime guarantee. Steele blinked, momentarily flummoxed. A lifetime guarantee? Yeah, what about it? Well, Albert scratched his head. For what you charged me for the chronometer. 10 or 15 years would be more than fair. You're giving me too much. No need for a lifetime. He genuinely believed Steele was being too generous with the warranty. Steele let out a forced chuckle. Ah, don't you worry your head about that, son. Just enjoy your fine new chronometer. He quickly began to scout the perimeter, sensing another potential overstocked item could soon be moved. A happy afternoon to you, Albert. He quickly changed his demeanor, melting back into the shadows of the eye, leaving Albert Pyle, new chronometer glinting, humming. Sergeant Harding, however, was having anything but a happy afternoon. Trapped in the cramped confines of the squad room office, buried under a towering avalanche of planetary reconnaissance logs and training schedules, he growled at his data. The faint, persistent scent of burnt ozone from a malfunctioning air filter only added to his simmering frustration. He was a ground pounder, a leader of men, not a glorified pig. A shadow fell over his desk. He glanced up, already anticipating. "What is it, Pylon?" he rasped, his voice raw from internal monologue of growing exasperation. "I'm trying to catch up with this paperwork. What do you want?" Albert, ever present, beamed. "Oh, I thought I'd just stop by and kill sometime, Sergeant." His gaze, utterly sincere, took in the chaotic piles of data. "Well, kill it somewhere else." Harding slammed a fist, lightly, on the data slate, making the screens flicker. "I gotta clear all this up before I can get out of here." "So beat it." He pointed vaguely towards the door. "Well, maybe I could pitch in and help," Albert offered, already half pulling a chair over, his inherent helpfulness overriding any sense of "I got plenty of time now that my errands are done. I got my shower clogs." Harding's eye twitched. "You got your pass. Pylon. Go into city. To a Sonic Flick theater someplace. Just get out of here." His voice was a low growl, like a gravcar engine struggling to start. "Right, Sergeant." Albert nodded, then paused, a sly, innocent smile creeping across his face, the kind that usually preceded an explosion of pylon-induced chaos. "But before I go, would you happen to have the right time?" Harding narrowed his eyes. "Why don't you just clear out of here, Pylon?" He leaned back in his chair, folding his arms across his massive chest, trying to project an air of impenetrable authority. "I'm sorry, Sergeant," Albert said, his voice laced with mock apology. But then his wrist came into view, shimmering with a distinct golden hue. "I just wanted to show off my new gold chronometer." Harding blinked. "Chronometer. Gold." His eyes involuntarily flicked to Albert's wrist. "Huh, my new gold chronometer," Albert repeated, almost vibrating with pride. "That's right. You hadn't seen it." He extended his arm for inspection, like a child showing off a new toy. "Let me see that," Harding demanded, grabbing Albert's wrist with a grip that could dent Durasteel. He turned the watch over, examining it suspiciously. It certainly looked gold. "You don't have to worry about dropping it either," Sergeant Albert explained earnestly, "because it's guaranteed shockproof, and it's also waterproof and dustproof." "Why? You could wear it through an asteroid storm, and it'd still tell you the correct local time." "Gold, huh?" Harding murmured, turning the watch in the light. "You mean this is really gold?" His tone was still heavily skeptical, but a tiny seed of doubt, of possibility, had been planted. "Positively," Elba affirmed. 18 carats, with 21 joules too, and it's waterproof, dustproof, just like Mr. Sterling Steele said. Harding looked from the watch to Albert's innocent, beaming face. "What did you do, Pylon? Blow your whole payday on this?" Albert giggled, a surprisingly light sound. "Guess what it costs, Sergeant? Just guess." He bounced on the balls of his feet, eager for Harding to join his excitement. Harding scoffed. "Well, a gold chronometer like this should cost at least 100 credits. Pylon. A real one. That is, you're just a little bit off, Sergeant," Albert announced. Harding raised an eyebrow. "You pay more." "No." "Then what did you pay for it?" Harding asked, his curiosity beginning to outweigh his irritation. "Do you think I got a good deal, Sergeant? For a chronometer that's shockproof." A moment of stunned silence hung in the air, thick with the scent of ozone and impending doom. Harding stared at Albert, then at the watch, then back at Albert, his mind racing through the logical impossibilities. A gold, 21 joule, 18 carat, shockproof, waterproof, dustproof, chronometer for $12.95 credits. The very idea offended his military-honed sense of tactical reality. "Good deal, Pylon," Harding finally roared, the internal volcano rumbling to life. "Pylon, how can anybody sell you a gold chronometer for $12.95 credits? Use your head." "Those were my feelings." "Exactly, Sergeant," Albert readily agreed, much to Harding's bewilderment. "So I asked Freddie, That's sterling friendly Freddie Steele. He's the fella that sold it to me. And he explained it to me that his supplier was overstocked, and he had to unload him. Overstocked, Harding repeated, his voice dangerously low. Pylon, when it comes to brains, you're understocked. In fact, you've got the lowest inventory on the entire base. His face was turning a shade of purple usually reserved for dying. Huh, Albert blinked, trying to process this unexpected assessment of his intellectual assets. Look, Pylon, Harding continued, leaning forward, his index finger pointed menacingly. Use your head for a minute. A gold chronometer selling for $12.95 has either got to be a phony, or else it's hot. Hot, Albert's mouth dropped open. You don't mean that it is? Yeah. Pylon. Swiped. Stolen. Harding practically spat the words, pounding his desk with a thud that echoed through the small office. It happens every day. Some poor recruit goes into the hydro washroom, takes off his chronometer, and the next thing you know, it's gone. You bought a stolen chronometer. Pylon. Albert Pylon's face, a moment before shining with pride, crumpled like a discarded datasheet. What? I never. You did too. Pylon, Harding countered, his anger now laced with a grim satisfaction that he had finally gotten through to the usually impenetrable mind of his private. Well, I don't want it, Albert wailed, tearing the chronometer from his wrist, as if it were burning his skin. Well, that's terrible. Stolen goods. Why didn't I just go to the Intergalactic Exchange Post and get my shower clogs? What am I going to do, Sergeant? I don't care, but I'm going to do something. His righteous indignation, a powerful but rarely seen emotion in Albert, flared. Harding leaned back, running a hand through his short-cropped hair. I've had it, Pylon. It's not just you, but every payday. There's some petty crook waiting around in ambush for one of our guys, and I'm getting sick of it. The anger in his voice was now directed not just at Albert, but at the injustice of it all. But what are we going to do, Sergeant? Albert asked, his fear giving way to a hopeful dependence on his superior. First thing I'm going to do is get your money back, Harding declared, pushing back his chair with a scrape of joy. And then I'm going to make this sterling steel character a distant memory around this base. Now, where is he? He grabbed his sidearm, the very picture of avenging Astra Corps' justice. Well, the last time I saw him, Sergeant, he was out by the back fence, near the loading docks, Albert reported, wiping away a stray tear. I feel awful about this, Sergeant. Just awful. All right, Pylon. You go back to the barracks and wait, Harding commanded, already heading for the door. I'll handle this crook. Well, Sergeant, Albert called after him, his voice regaining some of its fire. Would you tell this sterling steel something for me? Tell him after what he's done not to expect any word of my business from me again. The ultimate celestial gulch insult for a businessman. Harding didn't bother to reply. His jaw set. He stormed out of the office, fueled by a potent cocktail of righteous fury and a deep, abiding desire to protect his bewildered flock. Even if one of the sheep was continually leading himself to slaughter, he found sterling steel where Albert said, lurking near the service access point, already attempting to sell a genuine Martian or fragment to an unsuspecting recruit. Steele, seeing Harding approach with a look that could curdle plasma, wisely dropped his act. Thought you could get away with it, didn't you, pal? Harding snarled, his voice a low rumble. Coomin' around here. Fleecing my guys. Well, you've had it, Buster. You have had it. He pointed a finger, thick as a Weber wrench, directly at Steele's impeccably pressed lapel. Steele, a master of immediate just tell me what you want. His hands went up in a gesture of exaggerated surrender, though his eyes darted nervously. I'll tell you what, Harding barked. I want the money back for this chronometer. He shoved the cheap gold watch, which he'd retrieved from Albert, into Steele's chest. The money. Steele affected a look of profound relief. Well, why didn't you say so, Sergeant? I'd be glad to give you a refund. He pulled out a wad of credits, fanning them dramatically. Oh, don't hand me that stuff. You phony, Harding growled, suspicious of the sudden compliant. You mean you're actually going to give me the money? Of course, Steele replied, counting out the credits with practiced ease. Here, and you'll tell your buddy I'm sorry he wasn't happy with his purchase. Maybe it was too bright, too shiny, not subtle enough for his discerning taste. He offered a conciliatory smile. Harding took the money, still disbelieving. You mean you're giving me a refund? Well, of course I'm giving you a refund, Steele said, now adopting an air of wronged dignity. And I'll give you an explanation also. Because you're entitled to it, Sergeant. Yeah, Harding grunted, crossing his arms. He might as well hear the charlatan's latest spiel. Yeah, Steele pointed at the chronometer still in Harding's hand. You want to know about this chronometer, Sergeant? Well, right now, it's in a window of Starstone Jewels, selling for $97.50, and that's on sale. He puffed out his chest, as if personally responsible for the retail price. Harding scoffed. Oh, come on! What do you take me for? Some kind of rube. I was raised in the city, Mr. You know, with people and gravelanes. I know a scam when I see one. All right, Still conceded. You were born in the city, but you still got a lot to learn about merchandising. He adjusted his expensive-looking tie. Okay, Harding challenged. Then you tell me, how do you sell a $100 gold chronometer for $12.95 credits? Steele smiled, a practiced, knowing smile. Simple. Low overhead. Low overhead, Harding snorted. Well, sure. Steele gestured around the rather desolate service access point. You go downtown to any of these high-class jewel stores, and what do you see? Fancy fixtures, thick graph pile carpets, high-priced salesmen in tailored tunics. Do you see any of that around here, Sergeant? Huh. Do you see it? He spread his hands, inviting Harding to inspect the Harding grumbled. No, but, well, I still don't see how a gold chronometer can sell for $12.95. Harding pressed, his gut still telling him something was amiss. There's got to be a catch. Of course, there's a catch, Sergeant. Steele leaned in, ready for the clincher. And it's the markup. He practically whispered the word, as if revealing a sacred trade secret. The markup? Harding asked, genuinely intrigued despite himself. Have you any idea of the markup on these things? No, Harding admitted, a grudging curiosity sparking. Well, not many of us know there's a 60 to 70% profit attached to these luxury items. When you buy them by the car. Steele practically shouted the word carload, his voice brimming with entrepreneurial zeal. Harding's eyes widened fractionally. Of course, Steele beamed, seizing the opportunity to impress. I'm a Havalian dealer. Sergeant, I make a tiny profit on each item, but I go for the big turnover. Even talking this time to talk to you has cost me money, but it's worth it. I mean, how many times do I get to talk shop with a guy who understands the business? He looked at Harding with newfound respect, as if they were fellow titans of industry. Harding found himself nodding, almost in, well, I was always pretty good in arithmetic. He paused, a strange feeling blooming in his chest. Could this be true? Could I have been wrong about him? Goon! Steele clapped him on the shoulder, now treating him like a junior business partner. Well, let me really explain it to you. Now, when the manufacturer gets an item, see, any product, you know, particularly your chronometer, as Sterling Steele droned on, weaving a convincing tale of global supply chains, bulk discounts, and minimal profit margins, Harding found himself slowly, irrevocably, buy into the narrative. The smooth patter, the confident statistics, the feigned shared camaraderie. It all chipped away at his cynicism. Harding, whose primary focus was military discipline and combat readiness, found himself surprisingly susceptible to the dazzling logic of a high-volume con man. When Steele was done, Harding shook his head in a mixture of awe and self. How in the world could I offer such a scheme, Duke? Albert Pylon was lamenting, his voice echoing in the sparse, impersonal barracks room. He was sitting on the edge of his bunk, staring at the wall with an expression of profound self. Duke, a fellow ground pounder with a more pragmatic worldview, attempted to offer some consolation, while polishing his laser rifle. Imagine me being so foolish. It's not as if I was 2 years old. I'm a grown man, an Astrocorps ground pounder, a high school graduate. Albert slapped his knee, the shame burning hot on his face. He'd even seen an advanced class in Celestia Gulch about recognizing hoax and humbug. Don't ever stop aggravating yourself, Albert, Duke advised, his voice calm. It was just one of those things. You got taken. Chalk it up to experience. Well, one thing's for sure, Albert said, shaking his head. Sergeant Harding's not gonna let him get away with it. No, sir, I'll bet you he puts that fella out of business and gets my money back. A spark of hope flickered in his eyes. Duke sighed, setting down his rifle. I wouldn't count on it. Albert, right now, that Sterling Steele character and your 13 credits are probably halfway across the planet's meridian. He'd seen too many of these scams to hold out much hope. Well, Albert mused, his shoulders slumping. I sure hope he enjoys that money and has himself a good time, because he's got his conscience to live with. He still held out a fundamental belief in karmic justice. Just then, the barracks door swung open with a bang, and Sergeant Harding strode in, his usual thundercloud expression surprisingly absent. He looked different. There was a lightness to his step, a glint in his eye that Duke had rarely, if ever, seen. Sergeant Harding, did you find him? Did you find that sterling friendly Freddie Steele? Did you catch up with him? Did you? Elbert scrambled off his bunk, a whirlwind of anxious anticipation. Harding, a faint, self-satisfied smirk playing on his lips, announced, "Yeah, Pylon. I found him." Elbert clapped his hands together. "I knew it. See there, Duke? When Sergeant Harding starts to do something, he does it." He turned to Duke, eyes wide with vindication. "Did you get my money back for me, Sergeant?" "I did better than that, Pylon," Harding declared. Then with a flourish, he tossed a familiar golden object onto Elbert's bunk. "I got your chronometer back." Elbert stared at the watch, then at Harding. "My chronometer? Yeah. Sergeant, what about it being stolen? You know, hot, like you said." "Oh, there's nothing to worry about there, Pylon." Harding dismissed the concern with a wave of his hand, adopting a knowledgeable, almost paternal air. "We had a little talk." "You did?" Elbert's eyes were huge. "Yeah," Harding affirmed, "and I made a little investment with sterling steel myself. Just feast your eyes on that." With another, even grander flourish, Harding pulled out a package wrapped in iridescent thermal paper. He peeled back the wrapping to reveal a shimmering, almost impossibly luxurious fur neck wrap. "Hey, the fur piece," Elbert gasped, recognizing the item from an advertisement in a recent holomac. "How in the world could you afford a thing like that, Sergeant?" Elbert asked, genuine awe in his voice. This wasn't just gold, this was glamorous. "Man, it sure looks great, Sergeant," Elbert marveled, reaching out a tentative hand to stroke the soft fur. "Yeah, I just can't wait till Bonnie sees this. It'll make up for her birthday present. She wasn't crazy about them bath salts I got her." Harding winced, remembering Bonnie's rather unenthusiastic reaction to the essence of hydrogen bath salts he'd thoughtfully provided. "It sure will," Elbert agreed enthusiastically. "Must have cost you a fortune, Sergeant." "Guess. Pylon. What do you think it costs?" Harding's chest swelled with pride, eager to reveal his shrewd business acumen. "Well, my sister's got one like that back home on Celestial Gulch," Elbert mused. "It cost her about 200 credits. Harding held up 4 fingers. $49.95. Pylon. And that includes a free cleaning." Elbert's jaw dropped. $49.95 for that. Well, how in the world could they sell you a snazzy-looking fur like that for so little? The sheer economics of it boggled his innocent mind. Harding, now fully embracing his role as a master of commerce, gave Elbert a knowing look. "Well, obviously, Pylon, you don't understand the ins and outs of modern day. When you buy a fur like this downtown, you pay for a lot of extras. The fancy display case, the high-commission sales droid, the store's anti-grav heating bill. But when you deal with a guy like Sterling Steel, you forget all that. You cut out the middleman. It's like dealing directly with the Cathar Fox itself." He mimed, shaking hands with an imaginary Elbert Pylon looked at Harding with profound respect. "I sure would like to see Miss Bonnie's face when you give her that package," he exclaimed. "When you gonna give it to her, Sergeant?" "Well," Harding replied, smoothing the fur with a loving hand, "I thought I'd take her to the 5 o'clock club tonight, that swanky new place in the Upper City District, and give it to her there." He pictured Bonnie's delighted face, her eyes shining with appreciation. Finally, a truly impressive gift. "Well, I'd give anything to see her face light up." Elbert bounced excitedly. Harding chuckled. A rare, genuine sound. "Well, tonight, at the 5 o'clock club, that's where you'll see it happen." "Gosh, Sergeant Elbert," began hesitantly, "if you don't mind, I'd just like to be there just to see you give it to her. That's all. I won't interfere or not." His desire to witness such a joyful moment was palpable. Harding considered for a moment. Pylon, in a swanky establishment like the 5 o'clock club, the potential for disaster was high, but the desire for Elbert to see his triumph, to witness true sophistication, was equally strong. Besides, Pylon's innocent O would only highlight Harding's worldly charm. "Be my guest, Pylon," Harding boomed, already envisioning the glowing adoration in Elbert's eyes. He allowed himself a small, private laugh. "Tonight, Sergeant Rock Harding was going to shine. The 5 o'clock club was a study in understated elegance, all low lighting, plush synthetic velour, and the clinking of delicate plasma cocktail glasses. Soft, ethereal, synth jazz drifted through the air, lending an air of sophisticated romance. Sergeant Harding, resplendent in his dress Astro Corps uniform, sat across from Bonnie, whose smile was as radiant as a newly discovered sun. They had just finished a perfectly adequate, if overpriced, meal. Bonnie, a woman of impeccable taste and discerning judgment, was a true challenge for Harding's attempts at romantic grandiosity. She'd weathered his previous, well-intentioned but often comically inept gestures with grace and an almost superhuman patience. Now, however, her anticipation was almost palpable. "No, please, Vince." Bonnie laughed, her eyes sparkling. "Come on, Vince. Now, tell me what's in the package. I can't stand this suspense." Vince. She pointed to the iridescent trapped box, nestled discreetly on the chair beside Harding. Harding, basking in her playful impatience, gave a theatrical shrug. "I already told you, Bonnie. I wanted it to be a surprise. The evening is still young." He savored this moment, picturing the big reveal. "Surprises," Bonnie teased. "If I guess it, will you tell me if I'm right?" "Okay," Harding conceded. "But you'll never guess it in the next few years." He was so confident in the uniqueness of his Cathar fox fur. "A shower-clogged tree," Bonnie ventured, a mischievous twinkle in her eye, referencing one of Harding's earlier, less successful attempts at a practical gift. "No!" "Ironing gourd cover," she tried again, conjuring another past disaster. "No," Harding chuckled. "Not another box of bath salts." Bonnie's voice was filled with mock horror. Harding shook his head, a triumphant grin spreading across his face. "I told you you wouldn't get it. So just be patient, honey. The proto-pizza will be here in a minute. We'll drink a toast, and then we'll open it. Is that okay?" "Okay," Bonnie agreed, though a playful pout lingered on her lips. "But I should have known better. With you, everything has to be done by the numbers." Just then, a booming, utterly out-of-place celestial gulch greeting cut through the ambient synth jazz like a sonic drill. "Hey, Sergeant Harding, Miss Bonnie." It was elbowed Pylon, standing at their table, a giant, excited grin on his face. He seemed blissfully unaware of the intimate atmosphere he had just shattered. Harding's heart sank, but he quickly plastered on a strained smile. "Oh, hi, Elbert," he gestured towards a waiter. "Garçon, a chair for Private Pylon, if you please." Bonnie, ever gracious, smiled at Elbert. "Oh, hi, Elbert. One wanted to get here sooner, but I missed the Elbert's eyes were fixed on the package. "Did you give it a fur yet?" Harding's strained smile faltered. "Oh, no, Elbert. You see, cook the fur. Why are you stupid, Nick? We just formed a surprise." His carefully constructed moment of anticipation was crumbling around him. "She's lying to me," Elbert declared, utterly innocent of social etiquette. "You hadn't told her yet." He then, without a moment's hesitation, reached for the iridescent package and tore it open with the innocent abandon of a child ripping open a birthday present. The shimmering Cathar fox fur was revealed. "Oh," Bonnie gasped, her eyes widening. "Oh, it's gorgeous. It is real. A real fur." Her voice was filled with genuine delight. "Oh, Big Vince," Elbert exclaimed, holding up the fur. "I'd say it's a silver-frosted, ranch-grown Cathar fox. Right, Sergeant?" Harding could only muster a strangled, Yeah, but you had to blab everything. You big He groaned inwardly, but the delight on Bonnie's face was mitigating his irritation. "This is the nicest surprise I've ever had, Vince," Bonnie declared, pulling the fur around her shoulders. It settled, sleek and luminous, against her elegant dress. "Sergeant, I knew she'd just love it, Miss Bonnie." Elbert beamed, entirely pleased with himself. Boy, did he get a terrific deal on that. He was about to launch into a detailed explanation of low overhead, but Harding caught his eye with a warning glare. Bonnie, feeling fabulous in her new wrap, stood up. "Well, let's dance. Vince, I want everybody to see the new fur." She pulled Harding to his feet. Harding, recovering some of his good humor, grinned. "Enjoy yourselves, Elbert. I'll mind." He gave Elbert a rare, almost grateful look. Despite the blabbermouth, the gift had been a success. As Harding and Bonnie glided gracefully onto the dance floor, Elbert settled back in his chair, taking a contented sip of his brew. The synth jazz swelled, and couples swayed in the soft light. Bonnie, twirling in Harding's arms, was the picture of Ellie, the Cathar fox fur shimmering around her shoulders, catching the light like starlight. Then, slowly at first, something peculiar began to happen. A stray hair, iridescent and impossibly soft, detached itself from the fur and drifted to the polished dance floor. Then another, and another. Soon, a fine, almost imperceptible sheen of silver-frosted fuzz began to float around Bonnie. She chuckled, thinking it was perhaps dust from the club's antiquated air circulation system. But then, as she spun, a small tuft of fur, distinct and unmistakably from her new wrap, flew off and landed on Harding's polished Astrocorps uniform. Harding blinked. He reached down and picked it off, a faint frown creasing his brow. Just an anomaly, perhaps, but then, as they executed a turn, a cascade of silvery fur began to erupt from the wrap, scattering across the dance floor like pixie dust. The music, momentarily, seemed to emphasize the increasingly bizarre event. The elegant Cathar fox fur, moments before a symbol of luxury, was disintegrating. Bonnie's eyes widened in horror. She reached up, trying to pat down the rapidly diminishing fur, but with every movement, more fine, ethereal fuzz launched into the air. What had been a chic accessory was swiftly transforming into a patchy, molting, pitiful-looking thing. A couple dancing nearby stopped, staring, then began to snicker. Others pointed. "Fox! My fox!" Bonnie cried out, no longer elegant, but mortified. Harding, bewildered and utterly mortified himself, pulled Bonnie off the dance floor. "Bonnie, I don't know what happened. I could." He gestured wildly at the shedding disaster. "It's a fake," Bonnie shrieked, no longer caring about appearances. "Oh, Sergeant Harding, your—" Words failed her, replaced by a gasp of pure, unadulterated humiliation. Albert Pyle, watching from the table, had just witnessed the entire dramatic collapse of Harding's gift. He winced. Later that evening, back in the barracks, the story had already spread like wildfire. Vince and Duke, their faces struggling to maintain composure, exchanged glances as Elba recounted the tragedy. Still a "I wish I'd have been there to see it," Duke said, stifling a grin behind his hand. The fur was really flying. "Wasn't funny," Duke Elbert insisted, his brow furrowed with genuine concern. A Cathar fox fur moltine in the middle of the dance floors, not funny. It was awful. Just awful. He shuddered, remembering Bonnie's distraught expression. "Come on, Elbert," Duke chided. "Where's your sense of humor?" "It's a mess," Duke Elbert countered. "Miss Bonnie will probably never speak to him again. That's just gonna break his heart." Vince, ever the pragmatist, offered his cynical assessment. "If I know Harding, what's breaking his heart right now is that $49.95. Credits he blew on that fur." Elbert, however, had found a new, noble mission. "If I could find that sterling steel, I'd get Sergeant Harding's money back for him," he declared with determination. "Kiss it goodbye," Albert Duke advised, shaking his head. "The best thing for you to do right now is forget about it. It's just like my grandma used to say. When you try to get something for no, that's just what you end up with. Something that's worth nothing." A heavy silence descended upon the barracks, punctuated only by the faint thrum of the base's automated cleaning drones. The wisdom of Albert's grandma resonated deeply, a somber echo in the wake of Harding's very public humiliation. Suddenly, the barracks door creaked open, and another Astrocorps recruit, Private Humble, entered, a look of wide-eyed wonder on his face, his wrist prominently adorned with a flashy, gold-colored, "Hello, men, what's going on?" Humble chirped, completely oblivious to the room's recent solemn mood. He seemed practically incandescent with newfound prosperity. Vince, still processing the fur incident, grunted. "Well, what do you think?" "What do we think about what?" Humble asked, genuinely confused, as he spun the chronometer around his wrist, admiring the way it caught the light. "Well, this new chronometer of mine," Shazam Albert Pyle exclaimed, leaping off his bunk, his gloom momentarily forgotten. "Where'd you get it, Humble?" "Well, I happened to be passing the Hollapool Hall in the city, and a fellow out front there sold it to me," Humble recounted, glowing with pride. He pushed the chronometer closer to Albert's face. "Do you have any idea what I paid?" Albert's face was a mixture of disbelief and a dawning, terrible realization. He whispered. Humble's jaw dropped. "Amazing. How did you know?" Duke snorted. "I got one just like it," Sterling Steele strikes again. He pointed to the watch still lying on Elbert's bunk, an identical twin to Humble. Is that his name? Sterling Steele? Humble asked, his brow furrowing as a sliver of doubt finally penetrated his post-purchase euphoria. No, this fellow's name is Lucky Louie, Humble clarified, remembering the con man's glib introduction. Duke scoffed. Louie, that's probably just his downtown name. Did you know where you found him? Humble. Well, Humbo scratched his head. I imagine he's still at the Hollapool Hall. Elbert, already halfway out the door, shouted, maybe if I hurry, I can still catch him and get Sergeant Harding's money back. The mission had been Vince sighed, rubbing his temples. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Congratulations, PFC Humble, Duke said, pulling Humble back into the room. You've just been initiated to membership in the Patsy Club. Humble looked around, completely lost, as Albert Pylon, imbued with renewed purpose, bolted from the barracks. Albert Pylon arrived at the 8-Ball Nebula, a smoky, somewhat disreputable Hollapool Hall on the grungier outskirts of the city. The air was thick with the scent of synthetic tobacco and desperation, a stark contrast to the sterile, organized environment of Fort Resolute. Tucked away in a dimly lit corner, just as Humble had described, was Sterling Steele, now operating under the moniker Lucky Louie. He was in the middle of a rather dramatic shot on a glowing chronopool table, surrounded by a small crowd of eager, financially susceptible patrons. So there you are, Elbert boomed, his innocent voice cutting through the murmurs of the hall like a laser beam. I'm sorry to ruin your shot, Mr. Lucky Louie, but there's something I've got to talk to you about. Steele, momentarily startled, nearly flubbed his shot. He turned, his carefully constructed persona slipping for a brief second before snapping back into place. His eyes, however, betrayed a flicker of recognition and a resigned exasperation. Well, why all the hubbub, son? Steele asked. Recovering his smooth composure, he clapped an arm around a muscular patron standing nearby. This is my old Astro Corps buddy. Steele completely flubbed Elbert's name, but Elbert was too focused to notice. Of course, Elbert. Nice to see you again, son. How about a little game of rotation? I'm just learning the game myself. He gestured towards the chronopool table. I couldn't think about playing a game right now, Elbert declared, his face set in a serious expression. You just don't know all the trouble you caused, Mr. Sterling Steele, or Lewis, or whatever you want to call yourself. Steele blinked, feigning utter ignorance. Trouble, son? What kind of trouble? Well, you know that fur that you sold Sergeant Harding, Elbert began, his voice rising with indignation. Well, all the fur blew out of it, and it's harder than that there cue ball now. It's bald. Steele's eyes widened dramatically. It's what? He affected a look of utter horror. That's right. It happened right out there on the dance floor. Elbert gestured emphatically, painting a vivid picture of the molting Cathar fox fur. It was awful. Just awful. You're kidding? Steele cried, pounding a fist on the pool table, sending the chronoballs scattering. No, Elbert insisted. And you should see what happened to Sergeant Harding and Miss Barney. They may never talk to each other again. Why? She was so mortified. She couldn't even use the proper Celestial Gulch cuss words. Steele wrung his hands, a master of feigned distress. Oh, that darn furrier. How could he do this to me? You deal with somebody for 20 years, and he slips you a second-rate product. I thought it was first-class merchandise. You didn't know that Cathar fox fur wasn't any good. He looked at Elbert, his eyes filled with anguish. You think I want to cut my throat? After spending 20 years, building a clientele on all this integrity, what can I do? What can I do to help? Son, tell me. Well, Elbert said, mollified by Steele's distress. You could start off by giving Sergeant Harding his money back. Steele blinked. His money back? For the fur? Yeah, Elbert nodded. That way there wouldn't be any trouble. Because he was fixing to go to the Astro Corps, Provost Marshal. That's what he was going to do. He delivered the threat with the solemnity of a diplomatic ultimatum. Oh, come on now. There's no need for that. Steele waved his hands dismissively, already pulling out his wallet. Let's see now. It was $49.95, wasn't it? He carefully counted out the credits. Here you go, pal. 10, 20, 30. He paused. Then with a dramatic flourish, he pulled out a crisp 50-credit bill. Here, take this 50 and keep the change. My apologies for the distress caused. Elbert Pylon's face lit up with relief and a renewed belief in the inherent goodness of humanity. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Sterling Steele, and thank you for Sergeant Harding. He'll be right. Glad to know this is settled. Well, that's okay, Son Steele purred, already eyeing another mark who had been captivated by the scene. You tell the sergeant to use the money and maybe take Miss Bonnie to some fancy restaurant to square things with her. Well, I will, and thank you very much, Elbert exclaimed. It's a pleasure doing business with you. Okay. And you tell Sergeant Harding that I'm sorry about this whole thing, and I'm going to go straight to that furrier and tell him a couple of things, Steele declared, pointing towards the imaginary furrier with a vengeful look. Oh, well, no. It's humiliating. I mean, it's just humiliating. He then suddenly turned his attention to a scrawny recruit, who was gingerly holding a small, silver object. Excuse me. Well, this personal quantum communicator you sold me, it doesn't seem to be working. It's picking up signals from distant planets, but not local traffic. Steele, catching the recruit's eye, gave a subtle, practiced shrug. Well. He glanced at Elbert, then back at the communicator. Without another word, he snatched up the cues from the table and made a break for a side door, melting into the city's dense pedestrian traffic with the practiced ease of a holographic projection. So long, pal, he called back, a taunting grin on his face. Hold on, Elbert called, but Steele was already gone. Elbert stared at the 50-credit bill in his hand, a warm glow spreading through him. He'd done it. He'd redeemed his sergeant's honor and his money. Later, Elbert presented the 50-credit bill to Sergeant Harding, who was still stewing in his office, his face a thundercloud of resentment and humiliation. Harding stared at the bill, then at Elbert. You mean he actually gave you the dough back without a fight? Harding asked, his voice dripping with disbelief. That's right, Sergeant, Elbert affirmed, beaming, and he was just as nice as he could be about it. I guess this teaches us a lesson. Before condemn a person, you ought to give him the benefit of the doubt. Harding grunted. Well, maybe so, but after what happened with that fur, I thought he was a scammer for sure. He tapped the 50-credit bill, a flicker of something new in his eyes. It just goes to show, Elbert said sagely, you can't judge a crook by his cover. Harding actually let out a short, surprised bark of laughter. A crook by his cover. That's a good one, Pylon. I'll have to remember that and tell it to Duke. You know something. Pylon, I think I'll take that Sterling Steele's advice and use this dough to buy Bonnie a fancy dinner. The thought of redeeming himself in Bonnie's eyes was suddenly very appealing. Hey, that's a good idea, Sergeant, Elbert exclaimed, ever helpful. You could take her to that pancake place on the Grav Highway, Buckwheat Bales. She'd just love that. They got 27 different kinds of anti-grav syrup. Harding's triumphant mood instantly deflated. Syrup. Pancakes. What's the matter with you, Pylon? This calls for something classy, like that fancy Gallic asteroid restaurant Le Petit Chat. A little candlelight and it'll cost a bundle, but I'll shoot the works. His gaze, however, momentarily flickered to the 50-credit bill, then back to Elbert, a slight crease forming in his brow. Oh, what a wonderful reunion. Elbert Pylon sighed dreamily, imagining the romantic scene. I'd give anything to be there. I just love happy endings. Harding, feeling a surge of generosity, turned to Elbert. Well, look, Pylon, since you're kind of responsible for getting my dough back, why don't you come around tomorrow night at the restaurant? Not for dinner, mind you, but later, for coffee. He considered it an act of profound magnanimity. Oh, no, Sergeant Elbert immediately demurred. This night is just for you and Miss Bonnie. I'd enjoy having dinner with you, but I'd... Who said anything about dinner? Harding scoffed. Come around later for coffee. Say, around 21 o'clock cycle. Well, fine. Elbert Pylon beamed. Yeah, fine. Thank you, Sergeant. You're the best. His joy at the prospect of being included in Harding's moment of romantic triumph was genuine. Harding watched him go, a sense of relief washing over him. The money was back. Bonnie was about to be appeased, and he hadn't had to face Steele again. Everything, for once, seemed to be falling into place. The following night, Le Petit Chateau hummed with sophisticated chatter and the gentle strains of a stringed micro-orchestra. Sergeant Harding, once again in his dress Astra Corps uniform, sat across from Bonnie, whose forgiving smile indicated that the Kate Foxfur debacle was slowly fading into an amusing memory. They had just finished their exquisite meal. You had to think you didn't even want to talk to me when I called, Bonnie chided gently, taking a sip of his. I must have been in that comms booth for an hour, trying to get through to you after I saw that furry incident. Harding grimaced. Well, you can't exactly blame me, Bonnie, after what happened with that unfortunate textile event. He paused, then softened his tone. Oh, honey, let's not bring that up. Tonight is a night to forget past woes and celebrate well-dus. He winked, a grand romantic gesture. A waiter, silent as a stealth droid, approached. Harding ordered a fresh bottle of the house's finest vintage and for a flourish, asked for a handful of these, referring to a small bowl of complimentary, exotic nuts. And here, this is for you, Bonnie, he said, pushing a small, elegantly wrapped package across the table. Just a little something to put on your chair for later. He'd learned his lesson about public reveals. Bonnie unwrapped it delicately, revealing a beautiful, intricately carved crystalline flower pin. Oh, Vince, it's beautiful, she exclaimed, her eyes lighting up. Just as Bonnie reached for her pin, a familiar, slightly off-key hum broke through the soft orchestral music. Oh, hi, Albert. Albert Pylon was standing at their table, a wide, innocent grin on his face, somehow having navigated the elite establishment without anyone stopping him. Harding's shoulders sagged. Not again. Pylon, you, grab a chair. Bonnie and me were just having a little after-dinner talk. He tried to send a telepathic signal to Albert, a message of discretion and silence. But Albert was, as usual, impervious to such subtle transmissions. I thought what she was doing, Sergeant Albert began, completely missing the hint. Didn't have nothing to do with he indicated Bonnie, who was still admiring her pin. Oh, it's a sight for sore eyes. I'd say, you two lovebirds, feeling and... Harding managed a strained smile, forcing the words out. Well, it's been a perfect evening, hasn't it, honey? He squeezed Bonnie's hand, attempting to re-establish the romantic mood. Oh, it's been an evening I'll never forget, Vince, Bonnie replied, genuinely pleased. She squeezed his hand back, a soft, warm glance between them. Yeah, Harding agreed, though his eyes darted to the persistent Albert. Look, it's getting a little late, and Bonnie has to get home. Garson, for the year. Check. He fumbled for his wallet. He pulled out the 50-credit bill Sterling Steel had so graciously provided. Hey, young man, the 50-credit bill. Hey, it's the smartest thing I have. He handed it to the waiter, feeling a smug sense of fiscal responsibility. The waiter, an impeccably polite humanoid droid, took the bill, examined it for a fraction of a second, and then returned it to Harding. Of course, but this appears to be a novelty print. We can't accept it. Harding frowned. A novelty print? What are you talking about? He picked up the bill, scrutinizing it. It looked exactly like a 50-credit bill. Albert, peering over Harding's shoulder, brightened. Oh, he's just being polite. Sergeant, it's one of them special prints they make for card games in the barracks. We play with them sometimes, but they ain't real money. A wave of icy dread washed over Harding. He looked at Albert, then back at the bill. The memory of Sterling Steel's unctuous smile, his easy generosity, suddenly took on a sinister new meaning. The refund for the fur. It was all counterfeit. Harding's face paled, then flushed a dangerous red. Well, Bonnie Harding, said his voice strangely flat. Shall we have our last one for the road? He lifted his synth wine glass. Why not? Bonnie smiled, lifting hers. Who should we drink to? How about Albert? Harding gritted out, the sarcasm completely lost on his private. Oh, not me. Sergeant Albert demurred. Why don't we drink to the man that made this evening possible? Sterling Steel, the serviceman's pal. Bonnie, unaware of the deeper context, chuckled. I'll drink to that. To Sterling Steel. And to you, Vince, for showing me the nicest evening a girl ever had. She took a long, heartfelt sip. Harding, holding his glass aloft, his face a mask of silent fury and dawning realization, could only utter a inaudible sound as he watched the precious 50 credits turn to dust in his imagination. The ultimate insult. He had been duped, not once, but twice, and his unwitting private had been the catalyst for both. Come on, Vince. Come on, Vince, Bonnie chattered happily, sensing no change in Harding's mood, assuming his silence was merely deep thought. It's not your spot. She's just not going to hit you. Harding was miles away, mentally recalculating his finances, which had just taken a catastrophic note. The expensive meal, the wine, the crystal pin, all now debts to be settled out of his own genuine credits. He had been so proud, so self-congratulatory, and it had all been for naught. His nemesis, Sterling Steele, was undoubtedly laughing all the way to a different intergalactic bank. The next morning, the barracks felt unusually quiet. Harding, slumped at his desk, was a picture of defeat. His Astro Corps uniform, usually pressed with precision, was rumpled, and the shadows under his eyes suggested a night spent in the dark annals of financial despair. Elbert, perched on his bunk, occasionally offered helpful advice. "Well, don't aggravate yourself," Sergeant Elbert suggested brightly, observing Harding's pained expression. "Maybe she's just tucking a high. That's a good thing for folks to do when they're upset." "That's a long shower, Pylon," Harding groaned, rubbing his temples. "I've been dialing her cum unit since last night." Not a single reply. "Boy, I've never seen Miss Bonnie this steamed before," Elbert remarked, genuinely bewildered by the female psyche. "Things could have been worse, though. If that restaurant manager hadn't let you go, you could have gone to jail for passing off counterfeit money. That's federal fan." "What do you mean? Let me go," Harding growled, slamming his fist on the desk. "I had to sign a sworn statement I'd pay that tab next payday. They put a cum hold on my account until it's settled. My commander already knows. I'm ruined. We sure have been having a run of bad luck, haven't we, Sergeant?" Elbert commiserated, completely missing the direct link to himself. "Yeah," Harding shot back, glaring at Elbert. "A lot you've got to complain about. I got stuck with a bum for a phony bill, and my girl won't even speak to me. At least you got that chronometer." "What Elbert asked, surprised. Harding pointed at Elbert's wrist. "The chronometer you're wearing." Elbert looked down at his wrist, then sheepishly pulled it back. "Well, that's not a chronometer, Sergeant. That's just the green band at the chronometer left before it stopped running. I figured I'd wait to get a new one." He gave a forlorn shrug. Harding stared. "You mean that chronometer is no good either?" "Of course not," Sergeant Elbert explained, as if to a particularly slow child. "It's like you said. You can't expect to get a gold chronometer for $12.95 credits." Harding stared at Elbert, his face a mixture of utter disbelief and profound resignation. He wanted to scream. He wanted to bash his head against the terrestrial desk. Instead, he forced out a single, desperate plea. "Well, do me a favor. Will you, Pylon? Just shut up." "Thank you," Sergeant Elbert replied with a bright, innocent smile, mistaking the plea for permission. Thank you, Sergeant." Harding buried his face in his hands, wondering if retirement on a silent, uninhabited asteroid was a viable option. A few days later, the atmosphere in the barracks was palpably tense. Another payday, another liberty period. Harding, despite his personal financial woes, was back to his duty-driven, gruff self, addressing his platoon. "All right, you guys, listen up," Harding boomed, striding back and forth with his hands clasped behind his back. "I thought it wouldn't hurt to inform you, clowns, that the fleet's in, and it's Saturday, and that means crowds and horsing around in trouble, which I want you to stay out of. Is that clear?" "Aye, Sergeant," a chorus of voices replied. "Good. You, Vince." Harding pointed at the slick-haired recruit. "You smell like a man with ambitions to take over the city, so maybe you better be extra careful." Vince smirked confidently. "Oh, no, not me, Sarge. I got a date. All right, but no cavorting with a bunch of rowdies. Tonight's for refined company." "Oh, really?" Harding scoffed, his experience with Vince suggesting otherwise. "Tell us about it." "Well, it's just a girl, Sarge," Vince began, affecting an air of non. "Just a girl, but not for you, Sarge. She's special. Matter of fact, Sarge, she is something special," Vince continued, warming to his topic. "In fact, she's beautiful, really beautiful. And you know where she works? She's a dancer." Elbert Pylon, whose ears always perked up at discussions of female beauty, piped up, "In a cage. Tell the sergeant about how she works in a cage." "Vince, is it a small cage? Or one of them big, airy ones?" Vince shot Elbert a withering look. "Elbert, of course, she works in a cage. She also eats and sleeps in a cage, because she's a wild, untamed beast, an exotic alien creature from the Xylos system." He gestured wildly, trying to salvage his boast. Harding rolled his eyes. "You guys kill me, you know that, with your phony stories about your big dates. Why can't you just say you're going into city, have a couple of synthetic beers, Go grab and leave it at that. You gotta give each other them snow jobs about them gorgeous states. He stomped his foot, thoroughly fed up with the pre-liberty bravado. Elbert, always eager to share his truth, raised his hand. Sergeant Harding, would you care to hear what I'm going to do today? Harding sighed. No, Pylon. But before he could utter another word, Elbert launched into his plan. Unstoppable. I'm going up to the Hollywood sector, Elbert declared, his face shining with anticipation. I'm going to take one of them skybus tours and see all the movie stars' homes. Harding stared at him, then actually let out a small, mirthless laugh. That's thrilling, Pylon. Absolutely thrilling. The sheer, innocent, unboastful mundanness of Elbert's plan was, ironically, completely believable. I've been meaning to do that for the longest kind of time, Elbert continued, oblivious to Harding's sarcasm. Vince, ever alert for a genuine vulnerability, pointed at Elbert. You hear that, Sarge? Now, there's a date I can believe. Him, I can believe. You're welcome to come along if you'd care to, Vince Elbert offered sincerely. No, Pylon, Harding interjected, surprising everyone. But you know what? I've got to respect a man who tells the truth. That's a good quality. For once, Elbert's plain honesty cut through the usual barracks BS. Thank you, Sergeant Harding. That's a real nice thing to say. Elbert Pylon beamed. It really is, because I believe that's really what you're going to do. Just what you said. Oh, I am, Sergeant, I am, Elbert affirmed, absolutely delighted that Harding believed him. Why? Is it beginning to sound good to you now, Sergeant? Because if it is, then I'd be proud to have you join. Harding, who had momentarily been lulled by Elbert's innocent charm, snapped back to reality. No, Pylon. I said no. Now, the rest of you guys, I got just 2 words for you, for your Liberty Watch. He delivered the final 2 words with the emphasis of a dire prophecy. As the other recruits began to disperse, Elbert Pylon, still humming a Celestial Gulch tune, spotted Vince, who was still trying to compose himself. Geez, Vince, hey, you want to go on that tour with me? Elbert offered again. Elbert, Vince groaned, his ambitions for the exotic dancer now firmly in mind. Have you forgotten Delora? There's the lotion in the cage. He hurried off, leaving Elbert. See you later, pal, Elbert called after him. Oh, don't forget to say hello to Vera Ruber-Alston and all the gang if you get to the cage. Elbert still didn't quite grasp the concept of the beast in the cage. Duke, walking by, chuckled. I can always tell when you're pulling my leg, Elbert. You get that insincere look in your eyes. Elbert frowned. I wasn't pulling your leg, Duke. But why is it folks don't ever believe me when I tell the plain truth, and they always believe when folks make up something? Yeah, well, Duke said, don't go to any of those Hollywood parties. You can't afford the scandal. He looked at Elbert's innocent, trusting eyes. Just look at them. Just look at your eyes. So innocent, so insincere. Duke couldn't resist a final jab. He knew Elbert meant no harm, but his truthfulness was often a setup for misunderstanding. Elbert simply shrugged, a perplexing feeling lingering. He was, as always, sincere. The skybus glided silently above the gleaming mega-mansions of the Hollywood sector, a kaleidoscope of architectural a synthesized voice, calm, and even announced the points of interest. We are now on Foothill Road in fabulous Beverly Hills. On the left, we see the beautiful home of that famous gravid piano-playing star, Liberace. He has a swimming pool shaped just like a and his bed is shaped like a gravid piano also. Elbert Pylon, pressed against the window, gasped. Really? You see, his whole life is so involved in gravid piano and gravid piano playing. He felt a kinship with anyone so singularly dedicated to their craft. And on this same street, the tour guide droned on. We see the home of the very glamorous and popular young Hollistar, Elbert Pylon, bolted upright. Athena Starr, he gasped, his face suddenly alight with a new level of excitement. Well, I've seen every one of her pictures. Every one. I even collected the She was so good in Asteroid Alley Cat. Without another thought, Elbert squeezed his way through the rows of tourists. Excuse me, ma'am, I've got to speak to the driver. He reached the front of the bus, nearly falling over the automated pilot console. Driver! Driver! Would you do me a favor? Please, sir. The driver, an impassive, slightly disgruntled android. Word, sorry, no refunds. Oh, it's not that, Elbert insisted. I'm having a wonderful time. I was just wondering if you'd stop for a second while I got a picture of Athena Starr's house. It'd mean a lot to me. It really would. His face was a picture of earnest interest. The android pilot, after a momentary internal processing pause, replied, "Yeah, well, okay. You'll be in service, ma'am, but just a second. I've got to schedule the rerouting protocol." "Thank you," Albert Pylon exclaimed, scrambling for his simple, lens-based camera. The skybus slowly descended, hovering gently just outside the perimeter of Athena Star's sprawling estate. Albert, camera in hand, practically tumbled out the grav door, eager to capture a memory of his idol's domicile. The grav bus door hissed shut behind him. The android driver, true to its programming, promptly continued the tour. Elba snapped a quick photo of the gleaming, Art Deco-inspired mansion, then looked up, only to find himself completely alone. The skybus, now a rapidly receding speck against the blue California sky. "Where'd he go anyway?" Albert muttered, confused. "He's got to leave the tour. He could have at least said goodbye. Now I won't get to see Randy Scott's." He shook his head, a mixture of bewilderment and slight annoyance. He'd never been intentionally abandoned by an automated transport before. He turned to survey the vast, perfectly manicured lawns of Athena Star's estate, bordered by towering, exotic flora and a tasteful Durasteel privacy fence. The main gate was a considerable distance away. Just as he considered how he would get back to the Fort Resolute, a side gate, previously concealed by dense shrubbery, opened slightly. "Hi, Private," a friendly female voice called out. "I didn't mean to barge in like this, but the sightseeing skybus I was ridden on went off and left me. I'm awfully sorry. I hope you'll excuse me." Albert turned to see a woman in practical gardening attire, a wide-brimmed straw hat, sensible work gloves, and overalls. She held a pair of futuristic hedge trimmers. She looked different from the glamorous starlets he was used to. "Oh, that's all right, ma'am," Albert replied, ever polite. "Where are you stationed?" "Private," he asked, assuming she was another Astro Corps member. "Camp Henderson," the woman replied with a smile, opting for a generic answer. "This sure is a beautiful place." "It sure is," Albert agreed. Then his natural southern gallantry prompted him to add, "She sure is a lucky girl." "Living here?" "Who is?" the woman asked, amusement playing on her lips. "The lady you worked for, Athena Star. You must be her gardener," Albert declared with cheerful certainty. "What a fine, green thumb you must have." The woman paused, a wry smile gracing her lips. "Well, no, at the moment, I'm more like her assistant for landscaping, you might say." "Really and truly?" Albert's eyes widened. "I don't think I ever met a professional lady landscaper before. That's a mighty fine profession, ma'am." "You know, come to think of it," the woman mused, her smile widening. "Neither have I." She seemed to be enjoying this immensely. "Well, it's been nice talking to you. Excuse me now. I guess I better be. I don't know why that skybus didn't wait on me either." Albert Pylon's politeness, however, was overcome by his innate curiosity. "What made you get off of it in the first place?" "Ma'am," the woman hesitated. "To take pictures of my favorite Holostar's home," she replied, mimicking Albert's earlier reason. "Athena Star's your favorite holo—" "Yes, ma'am," Albert confirmed enthusiastically. "I bet I've seen every one of her pictures. Why, I have the entire collection of holostamps." "I do. Really? Every one?" the woman asked, a mischievous glint in her eye. "I sure have, ma'am, starting with Gravbike Madness, What's New Tomboy, and I Was a Teenage Co—" Albert recounted the titles with reverence. "Well, those were some time ago," the woman chuckled. "Yes, ma'am, but I've seen her latest picture too," Albert insisted, ensuring his fan credentials were fully up. "The quantum beast who hated Andromeda. I bet I've seen that 8 times. "Well, you really are a fan, aren't you?" the woman asked, genuine surprise in her voice. "I really am." "Well, I'm very glad to know you," the woman said, extending a gloved hand. She removed her hat, revealing a cascade of expertly coiffed, shimmering golden hair. Her face, now unshadowed, was undeniably recognizable. "I'm Athena Star." Albert stared, his mouth slowly dropping open. "You're not." He blinked several times, trying to reconcile the elegant, glamorous face with the gardening overalls. "Well, I certainly am," she laughed, a bright, melodic sound. "If you're not spoofing me, are you, ma'am?" Albert asked, genuine bewilderment in his voice. "Because if this is a joke, my Aunt Bula will not approve." "No, Albert. No spoofs," Athena Star assured him. "Here, I'll prove it to you. She dramatically struck a pose, a flicker of raw talent appearing. Remember this scene? General. The monster's wiped out Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. You've just got to stop him before he reaches Reading. That's my hometown. She finished with a guttural roar. Whoa! Albert Pyle gasped, staggering backward. You are Athena Starr. Golly, who are you? His mind, reeling, completely lost track of the original question. Well, I don't know why I didn't recognize you right off, but you look so different with that hat and them laces and everything. He gestured towards her utilitarian work clothes. Well, you haven't told me your name yet, Athena Starr reminded him, her eyes twinkling with amusement. Albert Pyle. He finally managed to stammer, regaining some composure. Well, Albert, now that we've been properly introduced. Athena Starr smiled. A genuine, friendly smile that reminded Albert a little of his Aunt Beulah when she offered him peach cobbler. Would you like to come up to the house and have a nice tall glass of Yes, ma'am. That'd be real nice. Albert Pyle beamed, his celestial gulch manners overriding any lingering astonishment. He had just met his idol, and she had invited him to a mansion for lemonade. Life, it seemed, was truly full of wonderful surprises. Inside the sprawling mansion, Albert Pyle, now on his third glass of chilled hydrolemonade, found himself remarkably at ease, sitting on a plush, silk couch in Athena Starr's elegant living room. The experience was surreal, yet utterly charming due to Athena's unpretentious nature. Here you are, Albert. Another glass of hydrolemonade, Athena Starr said, smiling as she handed him the tall, frosted glass. Thank you, ma'am. This makes 3 of them already. Albert Pyle beamed. Golly, if the folks back home on Celestial Gulch could just see me now, sitting here talking to a real hollow star, they wouldn't believe their ears. He took a thoughtful sip. That reminds me, ma'am, did you know that back home in Celestial Gulch, they used to call you the Annie Ruth Collins of Hollywood? Athena Starr, taken aback, laughed lightly. No, I didn't. Who is Annie Ruth Collins? Well, I'll tell you how it happened, ma'am, Albert Pyle began, launching into a detailed Celestial Gulch anecdote with gusto. You remember a hollow picture you was in called Private Astro Hospital? Athena Starr replied, recalling the dramatic role. Remember you was in love with this married doctor with the 3 children? Albert prompted. Yes, I recall, she said, leaning forward, genuinely curious. Well, the exact same situation happened to Annie Ruth back in Celestial Gulch. Albert Pyle explained, drawing the parallel. Only thing, he wasn't a doctor, ma'am. He was a veterinarian for the space cattle, and she didn't give him up like you did in the hollow picture. No, sirree. She married this veterinarian right after his wife run off with this traveling galactic salesman, and now the doctor drinks quite a bit of star whiskey. And Annie Ruth has to take care of the 3 children, and his prize. It's a sad situation all around. Albert paused, taking a deep breath, ready to continue the saga of Annie Ruth Collins. Athena Starr blinked. She had asked for a simple anecdote, but Albert Pyle had just delivered a synopsis of a small-town tragedy that would put any holodrama to shame. She managed a week. We're fine. Albert, tell me more about the plot development. Miserable Harding groaned, burying his face in his hands, still struggling with the previous day's financial wreckage and Barney's icy silence. Meanwhile, back in the Astro Corps barracks, the scene was one of shared disappointment. Vince, usually so cocksure, was slumped on his bunk. Duke, meanwhile, couldn't quite hide his amusement. I take it, things didn't work out exactly the way you'd planned. Vince Duke asked, his voice laced with mock sympathy. With your wild Zolosian dancer. I mean, Vince scowled. It never fails. Duke, when you over-anticipate, you're bound to be disappointed. He ran a hand through his carefully gelled hair, which now seemed to droop as forlornly as his spirits. Didn't you get to see that Watusi dancer? Duke pressed, enjoying Vince's discomfort. Oh, yeah. Vince sighed. Well, what happened? Duke demanded. She invited me home to meet her family, Vince muttered, rubbing his eyes. Duke raised an eyebrow. Her husband and 2 kids. Vince groaned, dropping his head into his hands. I don't know why I even bother going into the city. I could have more fun doing my laundry in the sonic washer. Just then, the barracks door burst open, and Albert Pyle practically skipped in, radiating pure, unadulterated joy. You, boy, have I got something to tell you. Why, do you hear this? You know that Hollywood tour I went on? He didn't wait for an answer, launching immediately into his tale. Well, I had one of the best times I've ever had in my whole life. Guess who I spent the afternoon with? Come on, guess. He practically vibrated with excitement. Vince and Duke exchanged a look, both knowing where this was going. I don't know, Elbert, Duke said flatly. You'll never guess in a million years. But guess anyway, Elbert insisted, bouncing on his feet. I give up, Vince muttered. You'll never guess. Elbert, I give up. Duke raised his hands in surrender. Okay, then I'll tell you, Elbert declared, taking a dramatic pause. What do you think about that? He beamed, expecting gasps of awe. Vince snorted. How long did it take you to think that one up? Pylon. His tone was thick with sarcasm. She is, without a doubt, one of the nicest, sweetest girls I ever met in my whole life, Elbert insisted, completely missing the sarcasm. Right away, she offered me this nice, tall drink of hydro lemonade. Elbert, I'm not in the mood for jokes, Vince said, rubbing his temples again. Can you knock it off? But this is no joke. Vince, I wouldn't joke about such a thing. And I've saved the best part for last, Elbert exclaimed. She told me to come back tomorrow for a barbecue at her house, and I could ask a few of my buddies. Vince let out a cynical laugh. Oh, sure. And she filled a grav pool with space champagne for swimming. You mean you don't believe me? Elbert's face fell. Confusion etched on his features. Elbert, is it just a little fact? Duke asked gently, trying to let him down easy. Just a little. Well, I'm surprised at you, Duke, Elbert said, genuinely hurt. I really am. You're supposed to be my best friend. Have I ever told you a fib in my whole life? Duke hesitated. No, but there's always a first time, Elbert. Elbert Pylon's innocent, open face registered profound disappointment. Well, I'll tell you exactly. I got off of this tall sky bus to take a picture of Athena Starr's house, and there she was. And she is, without a doubt, one of the nicest. He paused, eyes wide with genuine hurt. You really don't believe me, Duke? You really don't? Duke, seeing the raw emotion in Elbert's face, felt a pang of guilt. Elbert, I mean, it's just like a thing like that happens to a serviceman like once in 1,000 times. And who'd ever figure you to be so lucky? He tried to soften the blow with a compliment. Well, I was, Elbert insisted, puffing out his chest. And like I said, she told me to bring some of my buddies out for a barbecue tomorrow. She's even got some cosmic vet. Vince, his earlier disappointment forgotten in the face of such an audacious boast, suddenly perked up. What if, by some miracle, it was true? The chance to rub shoulders with a holostar, even a slim one, was too enticing to resist. I'll go, he declared, leaping off his bunk. It's all set. The three of us will go up to Hollywood sector tomorrow. Elbert Pylon's face lit up like a supernova. The three of us. Who's the third? Sergeant Harding, of course. Vince replied, his strategic mind already working. We need some proper supervision, after all. And who better to represent the Astro Corps? What do you want to ask him for? Duke groaned. Harding was hardly the type to indulge in such fantastical outings. Well, he's my buddy too, isn't he? Elbert countered. I'll go over there first thing in the morning and ask him, and he won't be like you, Duke. He'll believe me right off, like he always does. Elbert, completely misinterpreting Harding's cynical acceptance of his bus tour plan, skipped off, oblivious to the fresh hell he was about to unleash. The next morning, Sergeant Harding found himself staring, utterly bewildered, at Elbert Pylon, who was relaying the tale of his meeting with Athena Starr, complete with a barbecue invitation. Swear, Harding sputtered, gripping his desk. Pylon, you mean to stand there and tell me that you spent a whole afternoon with a sex spot like Athena Starr? The image of his guileless private and the notoriously glamorous holostar in the same room was deeply unsettling. I did, Sergeant. I really did, Elbert insisted, eyes wide with truth. But she ain't what you said she was. She's a nice, wholesome girl, and she knows so much about... Why, she heard all about Annie Ruth Collins. She did. Harding slowly raised an eyebrow. A nice, wholesome girl. Star mules. That part was new. It twisted his internal narrative. Still, Athena Starr was a famously alluring figure. He eyed Pylon suspiciously. Okay, Pylon. To you, she's a nice, wholesome girl. He ran a hand over his face. But you do believe me, don't you, Sergeant? Elbert pressed. Of course, Pylon, Harding snapped, his sarcasm barely concealed. Did I ever doubt you? Not for a moment. Never. And you'll come, Sergeant. You'll come with us to the barbecue? Elbert asked, a hopeful tremor in his voice. Harding leaned back, considering he could just outright dismiss it. But the memory of Elbert's disappointment over the fur incident lingered. And what if Just? What if Pilon, in his own inimitable, bewildering way, had actually stumbled upon something true? More likely, it was an elaborate fantasy, and Pilon needed a dose of reality administered by someone firm and rational. Well, Harding drawled, a plan forming in his mind. Your clowns may not even know how to behave. You probably need someone along to show you how to behave in a classy house. He couldn't resist. He had to see this barbecue for himself, if only to supervise the inevitable train wreck. Okay, Harding finally declared. But for just one reason. Pylon. To supervise. I'll make sure none of you embarrass the Astrocorps or me. Golly. Thank you, Sergeant. Elbert Pylon beamed, completely missing the condescension. He was just thrilled. Harding believed him. Okay, who else is coming to this barbecue? Harding asked, preparing for the inevitable crowd. Well, just so far, it's me, and you, and Duke. And Vince, if he wants to, Elbert replied, still tallying potential guests in his head. Good. No refract, no fuss, no outside interference. Harding grunted. Just a small, controlled contingent. He imagined a quiet, dignified outing. Then Elbert's eyes brightened. Oh, but I've asked a fellas in my barracks. Sergeant, I'm sure she won't mind. Why? That's just friendly. You see, Harding stared at him, aghast. He could practically feel the collective eye roll of the entire Astrocorps hierarchy from Fort Resolute. You asked the entire barracks. It was too late. Harding looked out the window, past the assembled crowd of eager recruits in various states of disheveled civilian attire, already jostling for position in the borrowed gravit vans Elbert had inexplicably procured. He saw Duke, Vince, Humble, and at least 20 other ground-pounders, all buzzing with anticipation. Well, so this is how the other half lives, Duke quipped as he clambered into the lead gravit van, clutching a portable cooler full of questionable liquid refreshments. Harding, his face a mask of weary resignation, pinched the bridge of his nose. Shut up, Duke. All right, guys, hold it down. Now, remember, don't do or say anything that's going to embarrass me. If you've got any doubt about what's the proper etiquette, check with me. Don't shake hands with her, whatever you do, and watch them antigrav cigarette butts. Understand? He was frantically improvising a code of conduct for unruly ground-pounders meeting a Hollywood star. Aye, sir, the eager throng replied, sounding more like a horde heading into battle than a party-seeking barbecue. Let's go, Astrocorps. Forward. March to Athena Stars. Charge. Elbert's Pylon, riding in the passenger seat of the lead grav van, gave a spirited, if inappropriate, command. The convoy of borrowed gravit vans eventually reached the perimeter of Athena Star's estate. The scene was less dignified Astrocorps delegation, and more mob of eager tourists. Harding, clenching his jaw, led the charge, flanked by Elbert and a few of the more disciplined-looking recruits. They reached the ornate Roddora steel gate. Elbert confidently strode up to the sleek company. Back! Back! Harding muttered to the overly enthusiastic recruits pressing behind him. You sure she's home, Pylon? He whispered, a fresh wave of anxiety washing over him. The entire thing felt like a setup. She's expecting me to be here, she said. Elbert Pylon replied, his faith in Athena Star unshakable. He pressed the illuminated cum button. Yep. A moment later, a formal, impeccably modulated voice issued from the companel. Yes. Good afternoon, sir. How may I assist you? Good afternoon, sir, Elbert replied, with utmost politeness, stepping forward. My buddies and I are here to say Miss Athena Star. We're here for the barbecue she was going to hold for us today. He beamed into the tiny lens. I'm sorry, the voice replied. Miss Athena Star is not at home, and is not expected. She has been on a diplomatic tour of the Kellic system for the past 3 days. Good day, gentlemen. The company clicked off with an air of polite finality. A stunned silence fell over the gathered Astrocorps men. Elbert Pylon blinked, then pressed the button again. Harding stared at Elbert, his face slowly transforming into a terrifying mask of controlled fury. Okay, Pylon, what's the gag? What is this? April Fools, he hissed, his voice trembling. It ain't even April. I don't know, Sergeant, Elbert Pylon stammered, his innocent confusion plain to see. But she told me. She promised. She's never lied to me before. Very funny. Pylon. Very funny. Harding ground out, turning to face his crestfallen troops, who were already beginning to grumble. But you know what? I don't like practical jokes. And right now, Pylon, I don't like you. And when I get you back to the base, I've got a few jokes of my own ready for you. His voice was a low, dangerous rumble that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest. As Harding began herding the dejected platoon back to the gravid vents, Albert, heartbroken, suddenly remembered a detail. Hey! Now, that's wonderful. I was really here yesterday. And she's been by. Wait a minute, Sergeant. How am I going to get back here today? You mean, you made up a whole star, and you made up a grav car to leave me here alone yesterday? Just as Harding was about to unleash another volley of well-deserved vitriol, a new voice, clear and undeniably familiar, called out from behind a hedge. Hey, Mr. Pylon. It's warm. I can't see you. I thought you were going to bring some of your friends with you. Albert Pylon's head whipped around. His face broke into a relieved, joyous grin. He pointed at the retreating backs of Harding and the platoon. Well, my buddies and I went up and knocked on the door, and this fella come out and said that he was in Europe, the Kellic system, and he didn't know when you'd be back. Athena Star emerged from behind the hedges, dressed in a fashionable, flowing tunic and loose-fitting trousers. She looked apologetic. Oh, Albert, I'm so sorry. That was Jeeves, my personal aide. He was just trying to protect me. I should have told him you were coming, and that he should expect a dozen ground pound. Oh, I feel terrible. Do you suppose we could call them and explain? Albert Pylon shook his head, his face a picture of utter defeat. I don't think that'd do any good, ma'am, since they thought I made it up about meeting you and all anyway. Now, I'm sure they think I'm some kind of a liar. Why? Sergeant Harding looked at me like I was a space weasel caught with his hand in the replicator. Oh, Albert, I'm so sorry, Athena Star murmured, genuinely distressed. Stevens, Jeeves, come here. Please. She turned to address her aide, who was now approaching, looking decidedly flustered. Oh, Stevens, is everything all right, Miss Star? Jeeves inquired, adjusting his impeccably starched collar. Oh, Private Pylon's a friend of mine, Jeeves, Athena Star explained. Could you help him with the packages, please? He was just trying to bring his friends, and you made them think I was out of the system. Now they're all mad at him. She then turned back to Albert, a glint in her eye. I'm trying again, Albert. They should be back by now. Meanwhile, back at Fort Resoluga, the dejected Astro Corps platoon had returned, their enthusiasm completely deflated. Harding, furious, had already started assigning extra duty to anyone who so much as sneezed. The communit on the wall buzzed. Duke answered it, a scowl on his face. Hello, Corporal Duke. Yeah, this is Corporal Duke. Could I speak to Sergeant Harding? It's Albert Duke, muttered to Harding, who was furiously scrawling a reprimand on his data slate. He wants to talk to you. Are you kidding? Harding barked, without looking up. Hang up. Duke sighed into the community. What is it this time? Baron Munchausen, he muttered, repeating Harding's sentiment. Hang up, Corporal Duke. Harding growled. But I tell you, she's standing right here. Albert Pylon's voice, surprisingly clear, crackled over the line, punctuated by what sounded suspiciously like Athena Star's melodic laughter. And she wants to talk to Sergeant Harding, and she says she feels real bad about missing you all. Harding's head snapped up. What? He said what? He strode over, snatched the communit from Duke. What do you think? We're a couple of jerks, Pylon. How many times do you think we're gonna fall for that crummy gag? Hang up, Duke. He covered the mouthpiece. But I tell you, Albert Pylon insisted, his voice now almost desperate. She's standing right here in a swimsuit, getting ready to go for a swim, and she wants you all to come back. Here, give me the phone. I'll talk to him. A moment of silence. Then a distinctly feminine, melodious voice filled the communit. Hello, Sergeant Harding. This is Athena Star. I'm so sorry for the misunderstanding. Harding stared at the communion in his hand, as if it had suddenly started speaking an alien language. The genuine tone, the distinct voice, he recognized it from a public service announcement about dental hygiene. He says he's with her now and that she's wearing a swimsuit. Duke hissed, nudging Harding. Ask him what he's drinking. Sounds like a full-blown fantasy to me. Harding, caught between the shock of the genuine voice and the certainty of his subordinates, made a decision. He hung up. Hard. Wait, just 1 minute. He growled, but it was too late. Albert Pylon, still standing outside Athena Starr's mansion, holding the Kuman, had heard the click. Hello, hello. He lowered the device. His face cracked. He hung up. I guess they still don't believe me. Athena Starr put a comforting hand on his shoulder. Oh, Albert, I'm so sorry. Well, look, don't feel so bad. Ma'am, Albert Pylon sighed. You tried. You really did. I can't blame them for not believing me. He kicked a pebble sadly. Well, there's nothing you can do about it now, Athena Starr said gently. Look, would you like to take a swim? There's some extra swim trunks in the cabana. They might even fit you. Well, thank you kindly, Miss Starr, but I got an idea. Albert Pylon suddenly perked up, a spark of pure, unadulterated astro-cause determination igniting in his eyes. Would it be all right with you if I just went back to the Fort Resolutes and fetched my buddies? I need to set them straight. I do. Well, sure, Albert. But isn't it a lot of trouble? Athena Starr asked, surprised. I mean, you'll be hours away, and the Gravit vans are all gone. Well, but I just wouldn't feel comfortable swimming here while back at the fort. Resolute, there was doubt in me, Albert Pylon explained with the utmost sincerity. So I'll just rush on back and straighten things out, and we'll see you later, ma'am. He offered a hopeful, if slightly deflated, salute, then turned and began walking down the winding drive, his determined strides gradually turning into a run. Athena Starr watched him go, a small,